Port Adelaide taking on the Geelong Cats. Let me just get this. The Geelong Cats. There we go. Get that out a little bit more. There we go. Try and get that. Geelong Cats in the qualifying final here. The first final of the final series. It should be an absolute ripper here at Adelaide Oval. Who's going to win? That's what we're going to find out. Not too far away, but it's going to be a great, great game. One we're going to absolutely look forward to. Now, who's going to win? That's the question we're going to find out not too far away. But it should be a fantastic game. Anyone can win this, and of course, it is a home ground advantage for Port Adelaide here this evening. And both teams in great form. Just try and get this squared up a little bit better. I want to get this all good for everyone in there tonight, because this is going to be a big match where Port Adelaide take on Geelong. And let's have a little bit of a look at the lineups. Of course, for Port Adelaide, of course, the ins are Charlie Dixon, Quinton Narkle, the outs go Farrell and Vincenti, something like that. That'll do. Let me just try and get this straight for everybody. Tell you what, hang on, just let me try and get this straight. Try and work this in. It's always fun. Trying to get this. Actually, I don't know whether I really do need this wide. All right, let me just see if that works for now. Because I want to see if I want that worm to come up for everybody. And that'll keep track of the game. Tell you what, I try to do this prior to going live, but it's not always the easiest to do. There we go. We'll leave it there. Hey, Carly, how you going? Who do you think will win? I think Port Adelaide. I think Port Adelaide might actually win this game tonight. I think just the home advantage. I think that, and I think Port Adelaide have been in fantastic form. I think they've got the run. I think Geelong can be a little bit vulnerable, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see how Geelong start and the game starts. I could be totally wrong. You know, at some point during the season, I did think Geelong were the ones to beat for the flag. But yeah, they need to take this big step, because this is going to be pretty dominated Port Adelaide home crowd in this evening. So yeah, but I think Port Adelaide will win this one. The other matches going on. I think tomorrow, I think Sydney can beat GWS if Sydney get a good bounce, get a good start out of the gate. 15 minutes away. There are the odds. 136 Port Adelaide, 306 Geelong. I'll just check and see whether the worm's up, because I want to be able to back this in a bit for the worm. Yeah, and I think, Western Bulldogs Hawthorn, that's going to be the toughest match to call. That's going to be the toughest match to pick a winner, but I'm actually tipping Hawthorn in that game. And, of course, the final game, Brisbane and Carlton. I would expect Brisbane to win that game. That being said, Carlton have got a lot to prove. And they certainly want to win. They've got quite a few ins, I think, but that'll be interesting. Just have a look at the Port Adelaide full-backs. We've got Jones, Thatcher, Bergman. The half-backs are Burton, Ali and Alir, I should say, and Evans. The centres, Burgoyne, Wines, Drew. The half-forwards, Darcy, Jones. We've got Radaguli and Rioli, and of course, Georgiades are the forwards. Dixon and Rose, and of course the followers are Sweet, Francis and Butters. There we go. For the Cats, no ins, no outs, no changes. That's always a great sign. Humphreys, Henry and Kolodziejski are the full-backs. Duncan, Blixars and Guthrie the half-backs. The centres are Holmes, Atkins, Dempsey, half-forwards. Hey, John, how you going, Squire? How you going over there? Hopefully all is going well. Margie TV, mega love shout out. How you going? Welcome in. Where did I get to? The centres, Home, Atkins, Dempsey, Stengel, Neal. Manninger are the half forwards, and of course the forwards are close. Cameron, Henry, the followers, Stanley, Paddy Dangerfield, Tom Stewart. There we go. That is the lineups. And, of course, the milestone games for Geelong. We've got Brad Close there in his 100th game. That should be fantastic. We're only 13 minutes away from the bounce of the ball. The commentators are down having a little bit of a chat. Don't forget, put your poll in. Who you think's going to win this game tonight? It should be very, very interesting. The poll is, of course, so far, the poll is all Port Adelaide. I'm sure we'll get a few Geelong supporters in there not too far away, but that is all right. But yeah, as I said, as soon as the commentators come back, I'll take it down to them because they'll have a little bit of a chat and discussion on the game and what they think might happen, etc. like that. As I said, we've got a couple of 3 days of football. The men's finals here, and of course, starts off. Let me just bring this in, and I'll actually show everyone. Match Centre. These are the games we've got on for the men's finals. Of course, we've got the qualifying final between Port Adelaide and Geelong. And of course, the other games we have Western Bulldogs taking on Hawthorn, Sydney Swans taking on the Giants, and the Brisbane Lions taking on Carlton. So it should be absolute ripper game. Let me just try and get this a little bit straighter, a little bit better for everyone out there. We'll soon see. We'll soon see when the worm comes on. But that are the games, and of course, tonight's game, tomorrow night's game, the Dogs. That's on at 7:40 tomorrow night, and of course Saturday, the Swans, the Giants at 3:20, and of course Saturday evening, Brisbane Lions and Carlton. In between those games, though, tomorrow. At about 4:30, I think we'll have another AFLW women's football game on. So we'll have that and some of the other girls' football games on in between that, the AFLW. But we'll definitely cover these. These should be fantastic to watch. There we go. All right, we might take it back. We'll take it back down to the. We'll take it back down to the commentators not too far away. Taddy, how you going, Taddy? Welcome in. Happy, what is it? Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Yeah, I've got to do this live, and I forgot all about it. I've got a premiere coming up in 1 hour's time. I've got a premiere coming up, but that's all right. We're going to stick with the football. I'll probably have to pop over to the premiere. In 1 hour. All right, I think we might, hang on a minute. Let me just wait and check. I want to see whether they're going back down to the ground. If they do that, we will head down there and we'll see what the commentators, etc., have to say. But just looking at the votes so far, we've got 7 votes in. 7 votes in, I think 6 of those votes have gone for Port Adelaide. So Port Adelaide are definitely big favourites here to win this game tonight. You know what, I just think Port Adelaide will be too strong for the Cats tonight. You know, the Cats have been playing really, really good football. Let me just have a little bit of a check. I want to have a check for everyone. Let me just have a quick check. Although it does not say, here we are. Actually, what I need to have a look at is the ladder, and that will determine. So Port Adelaide, folks, Port Adelaide have won their last 5 games. Geelong have won 4 of their last 5 games. Now, let me just roll down here. I want to have a look and see. Oh, there we go. No late changes. It's got Mullum in and Tommy Stewart. Interesting. Tommy Stewart out. All right, so the recent encounters between these sides, and of course last time they met, it was Port Adelaide by 6 points. The time before that, it was Geelong by 2 goals. And the time before that, it was Port Adelaide by 48 points. So Port Adelaide have got 2 of the last 3 winners here. And of course, that is the form guide. 2nd and 3rd on the ladder. Of course, Port Adelaide, 16 wins for the season, 7 losses. Geelong, 15 wins, 8 losses for the season. And this is how they fared in the past 5 weeks. Of course, Port Adelaide last week, they beat the Dockers. The time before that, they beat the Crows by 22 points. The time before that, 2 points over Melbourne. The time before that, they actually beat the ladder leaders, Sydney, by 112 points. And the game before that, Port Adelaide won by 14 points to Carlton. That's Port Adelaide's last 5 games of the home and away season. For Geelong, Geelong had a big win over the West Coast Eagles last time out. And of course, the time before that, they lost to St Kilda. Had a couple of goal win against the Dockers as well. 5 points over the Adelaide Crows and a 40-point win. That's how the form stacks up, I think, just looking at the form there and the teams that both of these teams have been playing. Watching from Bakersfield, California. Santa all. Thanks, John. Just looking at the recent form for these 2 teams, I think Port Adelaide have definitely been playing the better sides. Let me just see if this worm's lining up. Not just yet. We'll get there, not too far away. There we go. Let me get back to here. Hey, T-Name, Ben Megalove, shout out. Thank you, Guapa. The manager is in the house. It's going to be hard doing AFL and AFLW. It is. You know what? There's actually not a lot of people that come along to listen to the AFLW there, Carly. But it's good to get it out there. I think with the AFLW, the way I, put it up there so people know it's the women's football or the men's football. With the women's football, I put the 2 pictures of the girls up on the thumbnail, so people know it's the AFLW, and of course the other one. With just the the logo of the teams, that's the men's teams, and of course the qualifying final and whatnot. But it's going to be an absolute cracker. E.T., how you going, Squire? Teenage 69, wifey, Taddy, Carly from E.T., how you going? Hey, Taddy from Sir John, and Taddy said g'day to John. What's going on? Santa all. I tell you what, this is going to be a cracking game. I expect we'll get a big audience in listening to this game. Looks like the stadium is full as a goog. Port Adelaide look the team to beat. As I said, don't forget, vote who you think's going to win this game. 9 votes in so far. 78% going for Port Adelaide, 22% for the mighty Geelong Cats. There we go. 10-2. All right, we got 8 votes going for Port Adelaide, 2 votes going for the Catters. All right, that's enough of me talking for now. I'm just going to take you down to the commentators for the final 5 minutes and the national anthem before we get into this first qualifying final of 2024 where Port Adelaide take on the Cats. It's going to be a ripper. Luke Grubber, how you going? Footy is gone. No, footy's great. Footy's good. If you love your footy, no worries about that. You just enjoy. Let me take you down to the ground. Nabari, Nikona. Tuwela, Manipuni. Tuwela, what can a patni? Naigana vehicle, Makalankala, Marwachanga, Ganamina. Ganamina, Wangadi, Manipuni, Ganiyatana, Yata, then and Danga Wama, Tidna Bandu, Yaraboti, Irabina, Mapu. Hello to you, my friends, and welcome to Ghana country, or as we would say, Red Kangaroo country, here in Adelaide Oval. We bring great blessings to you, the fans, to the umpires, to the players, as we watch this great game of football being battled here tonight on this wonderful oval between Port and Geelong. We say to you, Nachi Yukandaya, Nachi Yakandaya, Padnia do wadu. May we walk together in harmony. May the understand that cultures can bring us together. We never say goodbye, we always say see you later. And so welcome to this land, Nakara, Naichaya. Thank you for coming. Good night. Yo, Eddie
Thank you, Uncle
G.
Mickey. Now, if you are able, can you please stand, remove your hats, join the coaches, players and the umpires for the Australian National Anthem to be performed by Chloe Bremner.
Gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, Chloe. Beautifully done.
And just listen to the roar. It always is so spine-tingling just after the national anthem, and as the players take their positions, we are ready to go.
We are. I keep going back to what Ken Hinkley said a little earlier. He said, got to be able to handle the pressure. That's the key thing for all these players now. You go through the formalities pre-game and all the planning and everything that goes into it, but once the ball's bounced and it's on for young and old, you've got to handle the pressure.
I think if Port's small defenders can contain the small Cats charging goal side. If they're never goal side, there's no way the Cats can win this game. It's a big responsibility on those who've had to elevate a little bit without Houston and Farrell.
Yeah, it starts in the midfield for me, always does. Who can win that midfield battle and get on top early? I think we've seen since the pre-finals bye, the first quarters have gone to another level with the intensity, with everyone fresh, everyone in a good space. So the first quarters got to be able to handle and withstand the pressure.
Keep an eye on the players that handle the ball cleanly. Yep. The ones that have their eyes on the footy, handle it cleanly before looking to dispose of it. Not those that have the wandering eyes, wondering what's happening around them. Focus on the footy first, get the job done, then move on.
The Power are in such better shape defensively than they were this time last year heading into the finals series. Their defensive work has been a real pillar, and tonight in finals, defence is always so crucial.
Yeah, and I've heard Ken talk about they were a bit physically banged up entering last year's final series, and he's touched on that multiple times. So I just feel like he's trying to give this group some confidence that their fitness levels are at a different peak, if you like. But there's a lot of responsibility tonight on those three-gun midfielders to get rolling and get rolling early.
Yeah, there is. But what I like about with Port Adelaide is having the big tools in the forward line. Dixon and Radigalia, under pressure early in this game, you can just get it into your forwards. They'll provide a contest and then game on.
The last message there from the skipper, Patrick Dangerfield, delivered with a smile. What about that man on screen, Charlie Dixon, back into the side, Jace? What do you want to see from him?
Well, he's got to crash every pack. Everything's got to be a contest for Charlie. We know that he's carried injuries throughout the last few years. His ability to impact is going to be telling from a Port Adelaide perspective. He mightn't kick a bag of goals. If he can kick a couple, great. But he's got to make sure the ball comes to ground. No intercept marks.
This really is something, isn't it, Key, to be here and to listen and to witness it right around Australia on Fox Footy. Never tear us apart. It's a moment.
And they've got to play their part, Chase. The crowd need to be involved tonight. The home ground advantage, they've got to be an extra player for them. They've got to be loud at the right times and not build a pressure that can come quickly if things aren't going their way.
All right, let's have a look at some of the matchups, guys. What are you seeing there in the middle? No one's going to danger at the minute. What are you seeing, Kingy?
Oh, Cameron's gone to full forward and Lear's gone deep. Max Holmes starting in the middle of the ground. Joey spoke about him. He'll spend plenty of time in the middle as well as a halfback.
All right, we are ready for the first final of 2024. Port Adelaide and Geelong. You're watching it right here on Fox Footy.
Flying final. The bounce is a little awkward, but Butters gets a hold of it. Drew a fumble. Soccer's Port Adelaide for Georgiades had an excellent year. Colin Jasny's with him. And has he disguised that well enough? He has. A boundary throw-in.
Boy, straight away going through, straight to Dangerfield. A matchup worth watching tonight for sure.
Huge crowd in at the Adelaide Oval. Sweet and Stanley. Stanley down. He goes to Soccer. Atkins somehow gets a kick clear. Myers runs onto it, Burgoyne after him. Good kick towards Neil, and he stretches and marks.
So Neil. Little pokey ball, intercepted by Burn Jones.
They're tough kicks on these occasions, nights like this. Sometimes you just got to take the distance, especially if you've got a 2-on-2 in there.
Burn Jones finds the line of the centre square. Good mark taken in front by the big fella in Neil. Wants to get on with it quickly, he does. Launches inside 50. Cameron's the target, he's the meat in the sandwich. Zerb Thatcher had a little nibble, wasn't enough. The birthday boy Alir banged it onto the boot. But Holmes may well be within range here. It's a big kick of the footy. And he'll have the first shot at goal.
Has he got the distance, Sal?
He actually does. Full of power, Max Holmes. He'll get the distance. Whether he's got the accuracy in him, it's a tough shot from over that side of the ground.
So Max Holmes to get it underway. The hill end here of the Adelaide Oval, which is absolutely jam-packed on that hill. There's the task ahead, and you're right, Joel. A little offline umpires tonight. Brett Rosebery, Hayden Gavine, Simon Merritt, and Brett Wallace, by the way, his first final. 10 years to get his first final. Congratulations to the remaining 16 umpires.
It's a great achievement. Burton in. Burn Jones. That is an awkward kick. Burton will have to clean up the mess, and he does so. Loopy hand pass, though, that Alir can't keep in play.
Bit of a scratchy start from Port Adelaide. The first clearance, Willem Drew had a fumble just there. A little bit of pressure. That's that first 5 minutes. Your first touch of the footy. Now you need to settle into it.
Sweet. Stanley go again. Stanley taps it down towards Manor. Dangerfield shoots it out. Atkins to Holmes. Holmes sends the Cats into attack. It's over Cameron's head. It gets to the back where Stengel wants a piece. Tries to spin through. Soccer's at home. What an opportunist he is. Just his mere presence was enough to suggest something was going to happen. Tyson Stengel sees the game like few do and seizes opportunities like few do. So Geelong gets the opening goal in the qualifying final.
Just the decision here of Lockie Jones early in the game. Go up, no impact. Need to clear the ball. If you're going to leave a player like Stengel, you have to make sure the ball vacates at ground level. Didn't do so. Stengel, ever the opportunist. What a great start.
Back in the middle we go. Sweet was there. Dangerfield to Atkins. And his non-preferred good-looking kick. Henry trying to get under. The little tap down was pretty purposeful from Manor.
It's just trying to take territory early. We saw Neil with the re-entry and then that last entry that went in there. Try and take it, put them under pressure, and then the ground balls are so important in there.
Sweet goes down on his knees, and Stanley spirals it inside the 50. Henry and Bergman in a wrestle. Henry gets a hand pass out to Cameron Hart on the boundary. He could not possibly. Who can do that? Amazing goal. Some start from Geelong. That was a finish Eddie Betts would have been proud of at the Adelaide Oval. Jeremy Cameron, fresh off 9 against the West Coast Eagles, has kicked a blinder of a goal. And the Cats have the first two.
Well, what a passage of play by the Cats, and Ollie Henry, a great play to bring it to ground. And Jeremy Cameron, I would love to say that that's a fluke, but I've just said it on so many occasions that he does that and eats it for breakfast.
The Adelaide Oval is his, and didn't the coach enjoy that? A stirring start here for the Cats. Out of the middle was Sweet. Running into trouble, Humphreys. By Dixon. Atkins. High ball, Manor in front. Burton was at the back. Bergman happy to be dragged over the boundary. And
Wait for the boundary throw in. A little high initially there from Dixon, but Humphries was almost eaten in that tackle by Dixon. Ground in immaculate condition as you'd expect here at the Adelaide Oval. Stanley on the move. Manor couldn't quite push his way through. Henry. Radaglia there as well. Radaglia gets a second go at it. Little shuffling ball to Mead. Stolen by Holmes. Away goes Henry. Can the kick find the target in the middle? It cannot.
Taken by Burgoyne. He gave it to Burn Jones, who was in real difficulty as Dempsey swooped on him.
We've seen Burn Jones try and wrap up that half back line, so he's obviously been switched down back. They need some representation there with that Houston back there.
No easy takeaway here. So the umpire will do it again.
Thank you.
Geelong could not have asked for a more ideal start in hostile environments as Bruin works it forward to Stengel. Off to Duncan. Cameron couldn't mark the closer Lear attention. He almost threw that. Burn Jones out towards Boak. Boak around the body finds McEntee.
McEntee used the man on the mark rule to great effect. Ali was in good position, juggling attempt. Thought he almost had it on the second go. Butters nailed Rioli in front. And he does just that to Burton. Long goal! Massive kick by Burton! What a response! What a response from Port Adelaide here. Game on.
That's the lucky part of this play. Then hit a dangerous spot. Clever little tap on there from Radaglia to the outside, but this is the kick. Not a whole lot of time. Rioli was going back towards goal. Just got the final bit of separation. Then some loose checking. Burton was the only man probably on the ground. For Port, who could bang one from there across half-back with Houston out. Nice response, good finish.
10th final for Burton, his first goal. A perfect high bounce in the middle. Sweet taps it down. Little kick out of the pack. The boot of Bowes. Boak. Burton. Bouncing ball towards Francis Evans. And Francis sees it out. In excellent form, Jason Horne-Francis. There is Dan Houston watching on the suspension.
Pondering what could have been for him. Stanley. Good tackle by Bowes. Brett Rosebery on the spot. Francis.
Interesting to see that Geelong have got an extra number in there in Manor, just trying to restrict the Port players bolting through there.
Bowes, little kick out of the pack. Boak to Mead. Thought about Burn Jones, went the left foot instead. Duncan couldn't cut it off. Plenty of Geelong players. Holmes, quick release of the handball. This is good play. Duncan got on the end of it. The kick to Cameron. Would have been on. He had his man beaten on the lead. Cameron tried to take a leer on. Henry, a wonderful one-hand pickup. Back to Holmes. Holmes, a deep ball. Good ball. Mark taken Manor. That's right.
You picked it up, Joel. Manor was in that stoppage on the wing here, came up as an extra forward, and then just spat out. No one went with him.
So Darcy Byrne-Jones is sitting off the back of the stoppage, and here's the one that should swallow him up.
So Manor's had time to sum it up. The drop punt kick, the choice. Rare these days from this position, or is it the banana? Going the banana, and managed to drill it, I think, has he? No, and this looked good, looked clean. Just the minor score.
It's to bring it in very long, with great conviction almost to the wing. He probably should have marked that. He fights on. The rising star sockers it forward. Close to Myers. Myers skids it low. Manor unable to mark. Close kept on running. He's got close attention. Gives to Myers. Hand pass Manor. A second chance. This time, Sean Manor goals, and the Cats have their third. He has been in very good goal-kicking form of late, Sean Manor. He kicked 9 goals in his previous 5 games coming in. Gets an early one tonight. No problems on the run for Manor with the banana finish. Cats by 14.
Well, there was just clean hands around the ball, making sure that you move it forward by the Cats. But Sean Manor kicked 6 goals in the VFL Grand Final last year, so he knows his way around the goals. And that was a special one. Learnt from his mistakes on the shot before.
Ball bounce in the middle, so that'll be recalled.
6 inside 50s for the Cats early. 3 goals, 2. So hitting the scoreboard, looking super dangerous. Great start also with the crowd, taking them out of it.
Yep, growing up, yeah. Had a good portion of their ball in the forward half here, the Cats. So far in this game, Stanley. Atkins, tough as nails. Tanner Bruin, little scrubber kick that works.
Outside 5.
Myers, we know about his kicking ability, and there's an example of threading the needle.
So that's a ruckman floating forward on Charlie Dixon. Just a quick ball movement, and that's what Mark Blitzars can do, make you really work yourself over.
Ryan Myers, just exceptional.
Willen, just with me, please.
User of the footy. 25th final from Mark Blitzars. 35 out directly in front for their 4th goal. And a miss with a bit of timber work attached to it.
Logan Evans to kick it in as Jordan Sweet's getting a little bit more strapping. To add to an already significant supply of it. Wines can't quite hold on. Dangerfield. Kicks to the pocket. Stengel's got separation. Didn't hold the mark. Evans did just enough. Stengel a fresh area. It stays in somehow. Evans gets it clear. Perhaps momentarily. Blitzarves, Dangerfield close. An open look at goal. Close pushes the kick. Cats dominant early.
Absolutely dominant, Al. They're 20 possessions up at this stage of the game, and that's a little bit unlike Geelong. They're usually behind in that stat.
Even Evans there could have taken the ball over the line. Just a little bit forced, kept it alive.
If Ken Hinkley could have a timeout here, what would he say to his side right now?
We need to find the footy. We need to find the footy. We need to be better in the contest and own some territory.
Cameron keeps it alive, back inside, another one of those benders. And Bergman seeing it over the line.
They've been really aggressive with their ball movement. That's a couple of times we've seen them go long from kicking to that centre square line. Even from the wing here, we saw them hit that spot. They're going to go again now.
Jones with the audacious kick into the middle, and Humphries gets on the end of it. Cats plays open. Myers couldn't quite take it. Did well enough to get it out to Close. His hand pass in the Cameron direction. Took some contact. Takes on Jones. Got it out to Dangerfield. He's closed down by Wines. Crowd want a free kick for illegal disposal. The umpire calls for a ball up.
The quick hand release of the handball from the Cats at the moment has been superb.
And it's where they're turning the footy over too. When you are going for those kicks through the guts, it's only 1 or 2 possessions and it's back inside the opposition forward line.
Holding Wines. Stand for
Wines here. Just soak it up a little. Rosie, the old campaigner in Boak, on his best kick. Henry on the end of it. Load up on the far side. Mitch Duncan with a quick kick out. Tanner Bruin on the end of it. Do they keep going or not? Tanner Bruin changes the angle, goes back inside to Bowes. Thought seriously about the little handball to keep the run going, but they've got the loose man out wide. Here they go again. Neal's taken the mark. He's got an outside runner as well. Ignores that, fair enough for the big man. Now the drilling long ball. Good-looking ball it was indeed. Gave them all a chance. Rosie, magnificent to Logan Evans.
He clears. Bruin dives in, can't mark. And that might be kicking in danger, a high tackle. Either way, Bruins ball. Lead of the head from Georgiades. Dixon in front and Bergman with strong hands diffuses that for Port Adelaide. Another dangerous exiting kick that winds. Shielded the ball with his body beautifully. And he releases Drew. And Drew can go in the Rioli direction. Kolajasny right there with him. What a row from Radigalea. He's caught. Strong tackle, Henry. Dribble kick forward. A chance for Georgiades. He misses.
It was dangerous, it was unconventional, but that's how they break Geelong open too, by getting that ball on the flow. Have to keep doing that, Port.
We're going to die wondering, were they, Port? Humphries. Wide in front, Zerk Thatcher. Probably should have marked it. Horn Francis. Boak, if it sits nicely for him, it does. Atkins couldn't get in. Boak from the boundary misses.
Here's a little bit of the territory for Port now. Have to work hard on making sure this doesn't just rebound out with a slingshot.
Skiddy kick from Duncan. Toss back into play on the outer side. 27th final for Mitch Duncan. And a servant of the Geelong Football Club he's been. This member of the 2011 Premiership. Drew sends Port Adelaide inside 50 to the pack. Off hands towards the boundary. Mead there first, playing his first final. And he's dragged over the boundary line. Forward 50 stoppage for the Power. So just a little bit of territory here for Ken Hinckley's side.
Loves coaching from the bench, Ken Hinckley. Can have direct contact with his players. Licks arms. Well, he went past it a little. The top and now Mullen. Burn-Jones. Able to straighten up. Short little ball. Bobbled up there by Guthrie.
Guthrie's kick just enough on it. Releases Myers. The Cats stream forward again. Henry in front. Bergman did enough. Henry tackled by Zerk Thatcher. Got a hand pass out to Duncan. Duncan sweeps it to Dangerfield. He might pull the trigger from 55 out. He has missed the lot. And the Hill enjoyed that.
Change bench working overtime. Burgoyne. Long deep ball. Plenty of Geelong players around here. Guthrie thought he almost tackled him high. Couldn't get away with it.
And Dave, we saw that heat map of Ollie Wines before the game, just straight up the guts. That's where Port have gone on a number of occasions.
Sweet and Stanley. Sweet, nice work. Drew to the centre, 2-on-2 in there. Radigalea comes in to be the third man. That's a wonderful Humphries tackle. Absolutely nailed him with a ferocious, the second of his ferocious tackles in this game so far.
12-6, the Cats leading that stat. Got a real intent to find body, man and ball.
And Francis being watched closely by Atkins. Dangerfield under pressure, did superbly. Got it away to Mullen, to close to Guthrie. Mullen kept on running and with great pace slides into mark. Look at this running game from the Cats. Holmes, beautiful kick. Henry marks in the pocket.
Well, that's inside to outside of the stoppage, as quick and as clean as you could ever see. They have got a real intent and purpose, but the execution's the most pleasing thing if you're sitting in the Geelong camp at the moment.
So Ollie Henry looking to bend it through. It is curling. It's hit the post as well. 2 posters for the Cats in the opening quarter.
Logan Evans. Bring it back in. Zerk Thatcher. Got to go here. Radigalea. Horn Francis saved the day. Tried to balk and weave with Mullen. Picked up here by Sweet.
Advantage.
Comes to Geelong. They go inside 50. It was Manor again that got it in. Bergman took the mark.
So Bergman looking to repel for the power. It's another territory taker. Front sweep couldn't mark. Kolodjasny tackled by Radagalev. Butters spins away from Dangerfield. Kicks into the middle. Back with the flight. Francis Evans, no care for what was coming. Duncan, he managed to get a hand pass to Wines, who goes to Georgiades. Those hands have been a feature this season as he has taken his game to new levels.
That was the moment, the ball went in the middle there. Mitch Duncan coming the other way. Careful as the current player is, just in how you have to attack that. And that is a nice pair of jukes. Now becomes a really important kick. The best look they've had in the past 5-6 minutes.
39 goals for the season. First final. The Port Adelaide spearhead for his first goal in a final. Port responding. Mitch Georgiades is a good finisher. An important goal there for his side. His last 9 weeks, he's averaged 3 goals a game. He gets one early tonight.
Side, a great effort there by Francis Evans, winning that one-on-one, getting to Ollie Wines, but it was an open forward line, a one-on-one, which they would love to get the Cats defenders in on more occasions than not. This occasion, Georgiades takes his moment.
The middle Port Adelaide go once again. Wines, wonderful fadeaway handball. Butters over the top. Sweet, the big man loads up from 55 plus. The mark is taken, but it is definitely over the behind line.
Cats on the move from the kick in quickly. Duncan out to the back flank to Dangerfield. Adelaide fans playing the role of Adelaide Crow fans. Giving Dangerfield a bit of a welcome. Burton for the intercept. So Burton looking to the corridor. Again, goes long to half forward. Goes Georgiades, marks off to Drew. Quick movement inside 50. Horn Francis dangerous. Well done in front by Mullen. He was strong in the contest. But what about Horn Francis? Born in June. Born for September. Port Adelaide back within 3 points. Even if you can neutralise him when the ball's in the air, he still manages to impact when it hits the ground. So Port Adelaide has kicked a couple on end after the Cats have skipped out to an early 17-point lead.
It was Mullen who did a really good job initially, one-on-one. Horn Francis had a really dangerous spot. That back space can so easily work you underneath it. Mullen did a great job of holding his ground, bringing it to ground. But every now and then you just have to tip your cap as a defender and go, yeah, you're too good there. Well done.
Here's a class act. Horn Francis. Superb. Kick the last 2 here, Port. Rosie with a little along the ground clearance here to go with the goal. Guthrie quickly got rid of it. Bruin trapped it to Dempsey. Dempsey, no left hand. Holmes to a bit of open space. Picked up by Manor. Able to get rid of it and gain some metres down the track. But Jones stepping in the way here for Port Adelaide. So their game is really lifting now. Butters.
That's it. Back on their terms, BT, by marking it across half-back and setting up play from there.
Zerk Thatcher. Drew's running hard to present on the wing. And now Georgiades, and there's link up in the Port Adelaide play that was Not a feature of the early going. The target's Radigalea. He got hands to it. Smacked forward by Buse. Closest caught in the tackle. Ball up.
Sweet. Holmes. High ball. Cameron from the side. Lear beat him in the air though. Was able to get it to forward. Burn-Jones. A little wobbler. Stanley. Can they make something work here, the Cats? Free kick will go Manners' way. Really low, hard ball out wide. Close, got a bit of time to sum it up. Bowes, neat little ball inside, and Cameron, as Lear thought he was going to go deep and long. And Jeremy Cameron, a very comfortable look for him from here.
And a better look for the Cats, turning, playing on quick, getting that ball movement going, even hit the ground, and they just look so much better.
Cameron already kicked one incredible goal from the boundary. In great touch at the moment. 3 of the quarter. Painted a little left, comes back, it too takes the timber off.
Well, that is some serious let-offs at the minute. So, Blitzarves directly in front. The Henry one was probably a touch tougher, but they're 3-7 now. Just continues to keep Port Adelaide well within it, even though they're being outplayed.
Something you don't like to do away from home either. You'd love to put that score on the board.
Dixon being held in the marking contest. He goes into the corridor. It hangs in the air a touch, but Logan Evans marks. And now they're away. Burgoyne also playing his first final. Into the pocket. On the lead, Georgiades has got it again. He could put Port Adelaide in front.
And that's Port Adelaide changing lanes, Stace. Literally brought it out one side and then took that dangerous kick into the middle. Heart and mouth stuff. But the reward at the end of it, they get a one-on-one down here. Georgiades too good on the lead.
It was a clever kick inside forward 50. Geelong had done a good job of getting numbers back, but it was just weighted there. You could see that Hughes had done a good job trying to cover the lane, but the perfect kick.
It's a tough kick for Georgiades. There's a good look at it. And kick from just inside 50. Starts it on the line right at the major opening. Brings him back to 3.
Guthrie. For Henry or Blitzarves. Either one of all, neither of the angle. Zerk Thatcher did extremely well amongst all of that. Sends it back, looking for Horn Francis. He was held out of it. We'll run out the back door here. Handle initially came from Mullen. They clear it. Atkins. Half back here for the Cats. Wants to just steady it down. Under a minute remaining in the quarter. Chip over the top, Tanner Brewer.
Adelaide guarding the ground well. Bruin kicks to the contest. Dixon from the side. Oh, Henry from the other side. Excellent mark.
Blitzarves is out if he can get up quick enough.
He races on and he gets it in the Blitzarves direction. Daisy, and he can't mark. Bounces off his chest to Stanley to Stengel. Into the pocket. Manor on the left boot. At the top. Didn't have the carry. And Burn-Jones. He take the mark for the power, and he copped a bit of contact in the process.
Gee, I thought Zerk Thatcher took his eye off the footy and made contact with Blitzarves down there, and free kick was not paid. What a quarter of footy. Cats got out fast, and then Ken Hinkley's Port took control, although Geelong here at quarter time by 3 points. It's 3-4 to 3-7.
We got this place.
All right, quarter time, folks. I tell you what, this is a cracker game. We still don't know who's going to win this game. The impressive part from the Cats, they started absolutely on fire. They were certainly in control. They were the big dogs, so to speak, the big cats out there to play. Of course, you can see their experience coming to the fore. Port Adelaide playing a little bit timid that first half of that first quarter, playing against the big boys. But after halfway through that first quarter, Port Adelaide, they settled down. They got into their groove. They got a little bit of run going. They finally got a little bit of pressure happening on the Cats. But I do like the way the Cats, free-flowing, running that ball down the wing, got plenty of run in their legs. This is going to be a fantastic match. We're in for a ripper, a ring-a-ding-ding game, as they say, folks. We are in for a ring-a-ding-ding game. Let's hope this game continues to be close. It's what we like to see. While we're here, let's pop over. Let's just have a look at the player stats. Let me just reload that up until the commentators come back on, and they'll give us a few of their thoughts. Maxi Holmes there for Geelong, top of the table with 9 disposals, 6 kicks, 3 handballs, 1 mark. Of course, Sean Manor was 7, all kicks for him. Paddy Dangerfield was 7. Had a good first quarter, taking the ball inside 50 a few times. Looking good, the old man, Paddy Dangerfield. Brad Close was 7. Darcy Byrne-Jones there and Ray Burton there, both topping the table there for Port Adelaide in the opening quarter was 7. Ray Burton was 7. No players standing out, folks. No players standing out. No players seem to be really dominating this game at the moment. Everyone's sharing the ball. Both teams doing the team thing, playing their roles, what they're supposed to be doing. That's why all pretty even in the disposal count as we go down. And you see your favourite players, their disposals. Now this is just a little bit off. That is the disposals. That is the disposal count. There we have the kicks, the handballs, the mark, and the tackles there, folks. It'll come a little bit closer as we get there. But Geelong, they had plenty of shots on goal. We're going to have a little bit of a look at some of the team stats in just a moment, because we'll have a look and see how many times they've been inside 50. Let's just have a look at the goal scorers so far. Tyson Stengel, Manning, Jeremy Cameron, all singles for the Cats, and Horn Francis, Georgiades, Burton are the single goal scorers there for Port Adelaide. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the team stats just before we head back down to the ground. And of course, Geelong on top by 25 disposals. In that opening quarter, of course, it was all Geelong. They came out on fire. It was their game. They were playing their brand of footy. As I said, Port Adelaide came out. They were a little bit gun-shy. They were playing timid footy up until halfway through that first quarter, and they settled. They got their game going a little bit more, looking to have a little bit more open space in their forward 50. Still, both teams still not 100% on hitting their targets going inside 50. 7 more kicks to Port, 18 more to Port Adelaide in the handballs. Inside 50s, 14 to Port Adelaide. I should say Geelong. I should say that is Geelong. 7 and 18 handballs. Inside 50, 14 times for Port Adelaide for 7 scoring shots. They're doing well at 50%. And of course, the Cats inside forward 50, 17 times for 10 scoring shots. Doing great, but 3 goals, 7. They've missed a few easy shots, which they should have got. Free kicks, pretty similar. All right, folks, let's go back down to the ground. We'll get the commentators today take us in to the second quarter. And welcome in, everybody. Thanks all for coming along. Hope you're enjoying this game. Let's head down to the ground.
10 or 15 minutes to settle. They fumbled early, made some bad decisions, some bad skill errors, but they got themselves back into the contest in the second half of that first quarter.
They knew what was coming. These small forwards want to get out the back, and if you allow them to take 1, 2, 3 steps goal side, you are gone. So their first half of that quarter, they had 9 inside 50s for 8 scores. And this is why, because it becomes very easy if you can lead your man back to the goal face and almost outnumber the opposition and drop a ball. Jones just makes a horrible decision there early in the game, allows Stengel to roll through, not Bogey's best effort, and they look rattled. I thought, gee, here we go, this is game on. They did find a way to settle, which was a credit to their back half to get some intercept marks in that second half of the quarter. They've done a great job to get themselves back in the game, Port. But the ground ball is the game at the moment.
Yeah, they look dangerous. Manor, Close, Myers, Ollie Dempsey, they are running hard forward. They know that's the game plan. I thought you're right, Jason. They'll put Adelaide steady after a shaky start, got themselves back into the contest, and you're going to watch them on offense. They're going to live and die by the sword, Port Adelaide, the way they're moving the ball through the corridor. Some have come off, some haven't, but this is where they steady King.
Well, this was the shift, Jace, because they were able to deny that ground ball game by intercept marking. In the first 15 minutes, they'd taken one, Port Adelaide, and they said, you know what, let's just go after the ball, and they took 5 in the last 15 minutes. They've got to be brave in the air.
Yeah, and that also allowed them then to turn defence into attack very, very quickly and gave them the opportunity to transition the ball. Love the way Cats kept it alive. The ball often found itself right out on the boundary near the 50-metre arc, but they were able to keep it alive, tap it to each other, a couple of releasing handballs, and then find that target inside 50. But, I mean, they should probably be leading by 3 goals at least, the Cats. We had easy set shots missed by Cameron and Blitzarves that both hit the post from in front, but I think we've got a really good contest on our hands now.
Kingy, you spoke before the game about Jason Horne-Francis and his dangerous around goal, and he proved that.
Oh, unbelievable. He beat two in one sort of two or three steps. Was just so strong. I love him in the forward line. I love him deep forward, Jason. I know it doesn't look conventional, but gee, it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. And if Geelong can keep bringing the footy in the midfield and get it to their forward line, they look dangerous. Well, Adelaide, it feels like they steadied and they're going to continue to be aggressive with their ball movement. But if they can get it in their forward half, they're taking contested marks, 6 contested marks. They're looking dangerous as well. So both teams will see who gets it on their terms this quarter.
Jeremy Cameron playing deep forward as we head back to the middle for second quarter action here at Adelaide Oval. It is the Cats by 3 points.
Make the most of them.
3 goals apiece here in the first quarter. A lot of set shots missed by the Cats as well. Holmes almost off the back of the centre circle. A couple of bounces, a triple now. Able to get up to half forward. Long, deep ball. At the back, they fly. Over the top, Stengel does it again. Just knows where to be. Dangerous player. Read that it was going to clear the pack. And able to get some clean hands on it. And when he does get his hand on it, we know he's good at using it.
Great work in the middle by Max Holmes. They put his quick feet in there, the Cats, tonight against those really smart and quick Port players, but takes the 3 bounces. Again, territory, and Tyson Stengel, as dangerous as anyone down there, Dave's just read it so much better than his opponent.
Sweet, the tap down. Burt latched onto by Atkins.
Thank you. I'd imagine there might be a quick message getting out to Logan Evans as well, just to tidy up, tighten up. Too much of a leg rope there. It was 2 metres. That's 2 metres too far with Tyson Stengel working.
Sweet's working hard at the bottom of the pack. Dangerfield tries to rip it away from Wines. Wines having none of it.
Look at that. 200-kilo men just absolutely going at it. Ollie Wines, Patrick Dangerfield.
To the side. Dangerfield dives in again. Wanted to shoot it out. Somehow it comes to Stanley. He can't handle it. Manor tries to go through. Wines just got boot to ball. Burne-Jones tackled by Stengel. And the umpire will intervene again.
Jordan, Reese. Play on.
Sweet, lovely little tap. Butters to work through traffic. Drew. Burne-Jones. Beautiful kick. Wonderful get by Radaglia. The wheel and go. Radaglia sends a very high bound ball. Dixon at the back using his hands to edge Blitzarves out. The ground level ball with Boak to keep it alive. Georgiani's Rioli. He can work in a phone box. Snap missed. Betsy to mop up.
Stand.
Connor Jasny.
Outside 5.
Hughes. Had a lot of time in the VFL this season. Jed Hughes. Just his 4th senior game, his 19th final. Stanley in front, Sweet there, got hands to it. And picks up, hand pass over the head was creative and effective. Boak. Deep kick to full forward, Dixon in front, the one-hander not quite. The ball just evades his right boot as well. McIntyre's caught in the tackle.
And that's the difference in entry. One-on-one there, Dixon looks so dangerous. The one before, Geelong were able to come across, help in the air. Port need to find that look more often.
Sweet hand on it. Dangerously towards Port's goal. Wines tried to manoeuvre his way out of the tackle. That would throw in they'd be happy with though. Lock it in and get someone on the run here in the stoppage.
They're watching the tape. It's Rioli. If Horn Francis isn't out there, starting on the bench in this second quarter, Rioli will be the one they're blocking for.
Started on the bench in the first quarter too, so it's interesting the way they're using Horn Francis at the start of quarters. Whether there could be any possible reason to that.
Yeah, we spoke about before the game, BT, that Drew and Wine spend a lot of time through the grind time, and then he can come up with the power to help out.
Down here. Goes. Upended. Simon Meredith says, give it to me. We'll ball it up. One of our most experienced men umpiring.
Sweet with the left hand, helped on by Rosie. In front, Radigalea keeps it in front of himself. Comes to Drew. Drew's hand pass knocked down by Myers. He runs into Wines. Bucks will go at it again. Got the lead out to 17 points in the first quarter. The only goal of the second quarter as Hughes is closed down by Rioli. Umpire not mucking around. Down to Wines. Wines flying shots. This is everything.
Ended up being rather loose checking there on Ollie Wines. Just keep asking the question. If you Port Adelaide, that's what you have to do. Those repeat stoppages are so good from the point that you have to make Geelong concentrate over and over.
Jack Henry to Cameron, but O'Leary was able to manoeuvre him out of the way and take the mark. 30th birthday today for O'Leary. Dixon bound. Got outmanoeuvred. Wines been in most things. Little dribbler won't work for him, or will it? Butters was there to make a moon at Dempsey and Guthrie. They concede.
Just putting some pressure on here, Port Adelaide. A little bit of loose checking, as you said, by the Cats players, Days. They need to get it out of here, the Cats.
They'll have a chance here too. Some little mismatches.
Holmes and Dangerfield. Rioli with the fly. Horn Francis ready to come back on. Ruckman body up, no decisive knock. That's because of not because of the holding. It's Dangerfield's ball.
Here. Thank you. Time back on, Stan.
Holmes. A really good start to the game. This is possession number 11 for Max Holmes. Kicks towards Henry at the back. It gets to Cameron. Cameron couldn't quite handle it. Henry goes past. He needs support. Myers. Squaring kick. Holding his ground in front was Francis Evans. And now he gets it and clears. A wobbler towards Radigalea. Can't mark. Buse pulling down. Buse now has possession. He's held up.
Could well be undersized Buse with Radigalea there. Stanley and Sweet again. Sweet with a lovely tap. Wines. Really fast flicking handball to Boak out the back door. And now an opportunity for Radigalea if he can pick it up. Attacked by Kolajasny. Georgiades to Rioli. Got a bit of time, Rioli. Beautifully done.
It's 30 goals for the year for Willie Rioli. The minute you saw him in space, took possession. There's absolutely no doubt about the outcome.
Well, it's just such a good look at finals footy because you've just got to be up on your man at every occasion. Port just keep pushing it forward. Jack Henry, a little bit of loose checking. You can't do that against the most dangerous small forwards. And Willie is going to make you pay on every occasion.
They're looking 4 against the Cats in That win over Geelong down at GMHBA Stadium earlier this year. Stanley the tap down, Wines goes hunting. Now pass to Horn Francis. Brushes Myers, but then he's closed down. Somehow it rumbles free though. Rosie, infield to Horn Francis. He tees off towards the teeth of goal. Rioli! Couldn't. McEntee could. Port Adelaide in front. This has been a superb response from the power. Cats dominant early in the contest. Port Adelaide seized the front for the first time tonight.
Well, it was this part of the ground on the wing there. Horn Francis involved a couple of times. Butters has come off. Horn Francis gets a rotation into a deep, dangerous spot. Great crumbing, great contest from Willie Rioli. He just looks like he's starting to feel it out there. Again, Henry with some loose checking from behind.
Holmes just pointing down at his boot there. I'm not sure whether you can see that, Aaron. Get to us if you think there's an issue with Holmes. He lost Stewart before the game. Stanley goes long and deep here. Geelong looking to respond immediately. Bergman was thrown out of there. Bowes showed the ball and then created something out of nothing. Did it well. It's raining goals. Cats back in front.
It is a goal feast at the moment. We just talked about loose checkings. On this occasion, it was Ollie Wines just off Bowes, who had come from the stoppage before, and that's the fourth goal this quarter from a stoppage for both sides combined.
Aaron Phillips, what are you seeing down there on the Geelong bench?
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's in too much discomfort. Just getting that left foot re-strapped. You got to treat him as blisters in games like these, boys.
Get back out there, Aaron.
Absolutely.
A whole lot of sympathy coming from Aaron.
No, no doubt that Max Holmes will be doing exactly that. Returning as Atkins bursts away from the centre clearance. 3-on-3 deep, Bergman wins hands down. Out to Sweet. Stanley closes, McEntee at the back, he's caught. Sweet. Burgoyne. Henry well placed here on Vatigalia, who chopped the arm or held on. Free kick, Jack Henry.
Well, fans asking a question, but Henry did it wonderfully well. And Bruin.
Play on!
To go looking in the middle, there's nothing obvious there, so slides it down the line here to Dempsey. The rising star takes off. Old Wobbler going inside 50. Anyone's ball. Miles Bergman again tackled. Umpire's quick whistle, probably saving him a little.
Jones is watching Stengel closely. Sweet towards the boundary. Dempsey is there around the body. In front, Duncan. Roving Henry. The Cats get a couple in as many minutes. Ollie Henry's first goal in a final. And pushes the margin back out to 8 points. Geelong in this quarter has kicked 3 straight. After 3-7 in the first term. Port Adelaide, 2 goals, 1 for the term so far.
Well, you can see Ollie Henry there, just ran a little route around the corner of the stoppage, but just continued to follow the footy. He was the one who exited, tracked the ball, fortuitously a nice soft crumb and goal. But it is all that movement, the confusion, It's getting both sides really good looks when they are asking that question repeatedly of the opposition inside T50.
Both teams willing to go forward and kick goals. Great game. Plenty happening. Bowes clearing ball out of the middle. Yes, it got over the top here. Manners there again. Got rid of it. Myers. Dangerous low ball. Cut off by Zerk-Thatcher. Worked the angle nicely. Did Zerk-Thatcher.
He goes towards the wing. Dixon one-on-one with Blitzarts. Trying to knock it to the back to a dangerous position. Mullen tries to battering ram style get through them. Myers over the head, but straight toward Francis. His kick out in front of Radigalea. Henry right there with him. Radagalea's hand pass well taken by Boat. End over end he goes towards Georgiades. He tries to push it to the back. Kolajasny there, caught by Georgiades. Guthrie lends support. Blitzarves, and the Cats come out towards the wing.
Blitzarves with the kick around the body. It was hopeful, Burton. Inside 50, good looking ball. Here he is again, Blitzarves. So mobile. What a player he is. Kolajasny. Corralled by Rioli. Mead helping as well. Humphries was good enough to find the smallest of holes through it. The runner-up and the receive for the third time for Humphries. Back inside to Bowes. Can he keep going? Tennant Bruin was on there, didn't see it. Had to go longer and deeper looking for close. Well done it was in the end by Logan Evans. And now Burgoyne on the respawn. Through the middle of the ground, Butters shows the ball and the kick is precise to Boat.
Boat keeps it moving. Drew's short ball, Rosie, in the centre of the Adelaide Oval. Advances it to Mead. Mead's kick in the Georgiades direction. A chance for McEntee maybe to kick his second for the turn. He shares it with Georgiades. He's got Rioli, maybe Dixon. Couldn't mark. Guthrie bursts away off the back flank. Sends it towards Dempsey on the wing. What a kick. Didn't break stride. Skids it inside 50. Aliir and Cameron. Aliir wins the day. Off to Jones.
Jones through centre half back. Thatcher wide again, so they reload here. Logan Evans got Miles Bergman running freely here. He's able to walk a few. Plenty of time for decision making. Deep long ball. Charlie Dixon eyeing this. Radigalea was deep. He claimed the back mark.
I think that both sides will be calling for a timeout here. Been up and back, been electric.
Mullen shares it with Myers to Duncan. Manor knocked off it. Boat crashes in like a blindside flanker.
This was the missed opportunity up the other end. The easy option here was Rioli. Lower your eyes. Georgiades goes for the all or nothing kick. Turnover went straight up the other end.
Bowes up and under. Burn-Jones punched away from him by Stengel. The Cats mount here. Neal. Put off the boot of Bowes. And now Neal goes deep to Cameron one-on-one. Maybe close. Sockers towards goal. Burgoyne wants to get it through. Myers trying preventative measures. And eventually it is over the line and a minor score.
You can see a lot of hands on heads, hands on hips, Joel. That is as manic as it gets. That is end to end. Both sides at times had the opportunity just to take a breath, slow it down.
Face is hot, as you say.
Feels like it hasn't been out of a contest, and then as soon as it does, it goes back in.
So who's going to win this one? Jasny jumps on it. Drew jumps on him. So we draw our collective breaths here for just a second. Rose couldn't win it. Boak, who's been prominent so far in this game, with a winding ball. Mead able to recover it. Handball needs some help. McEntee was close by. Mullen mops up. Humphries looked well equipped from half-back. Dempsey, nice little ride over the top.
He's known for that. That's a good one. It will not be the best we see from Ollie Dempsey as as Humphries finds Neil in the pocket. And he has become a very consistent goal kicker for Geelong this season. Goals in all 13 games he's played. There's a look at the mark from Dempsey.
I love the mark, but also then the overlap give to Humphries, who's had some really important moments in this second quarter. Left and right side, so good. Well, that's a perfect kick.
Port Adelaide had hit the front for the first time at the 9-minute mark of this quarter. This for 3 Geelong goals in succession in reply. Neil misses near side.
You just love young, naive kids that are playing the game. That was Dempsey to Humphries into Big Neil to finish it off, but couldn't quite do it.
Geelong are 0-6 from set shots tonight.
Max Holm back on the ground, boys, after spending almost 12 minutes off on the bench.
Sarah. There's Evans. Releases the ball. Henry over the top. Bowes jumping on top there.
Just the impact that Holmes has had, the 11 disposals, 8 kicks, 431 metres gained, has averaged 550 in the entirety of the matches on the season.
Mansfield and Rosie going at it. Both able to now straighten up and get a run. Good deep ball. Now Fitz hits the deck. Rioli's away. Boundary line, a good result for the Cats.
So this is the one, high alert, Horn Francis, Willie Rioli. They'll start in different areas, they'll look for blocks, they'll cross a path and both wrap around.
Hoyt back in. Sweet. Atkins took them on, got away. Floats the kick to the middle. Stengel's well placed here, takes the mark. And he can go for a bit of a run. Tries to put it into the path of Myers, but well read by Burton. Another intercept mark for Port Adelaide. Evans, short to Drew.
It was great scrambling defence by the Port defence. They just pushed back, lots of numbers. Now they'll build it back up.
Drew. Georgiades. Good grab. The immediate wheel and go. Horn Francis is one-on-one with Henry. Henry trapped it well and got rid of it. Horn Francis is wearing him like a glove. Bergman says, I'm going to come back. And he does. Butters. Wonderful get rid of ball. Lear. And maintaining possession now with Burn Jones.
Calls for movement, gets it from the hard run of Bergman. Just a moment or two here for players to draw breath, perhaps. Now the entry. Dixon sets himself. Dangerfield off his hands. Humphries got it cleared and close. Loopy hand pass to Holmes. Puts him in a spot of bother. Tackled by Burgoyne. Knocked it out. Bergman knocked it back. Holmes to Stengel off the half-back flank. Kicks around the body towards Neil and Alier. Alier the spoil. Well rode by Jones. Gives to Alier. Kicks to centre-half forward to Sweets. Dishes it off. Now the kick inside the 50. No mark taken. Georgiades in the contest. Duncan fights hard at ground level. Dangerfield crashes in to Kolajasny. Dangerous handball to Henry. And that is taken over by Osheen Mullen for a rush behind.
Very nervous when they do it, the players, aren't they? Look at Humphries. No problems taking them on. Get it back into play.
Just waltzed out on the left slipper too, BT.
Yep.
No worries.
There he is.
Outside 5.
He's an exciting player. Lawson Humphries just in game 10. Here he is playing in a big final at the Adelaide Oval. A double chance final. What about the Cats in final? 16th time in the past 18 seasons. 14 times double chance in those 18 seasons. Amazing. Views around to Holmes. He accelerates. Little handball to Cameron. Atkins had to unload quickly. Got it to Manor. 55 out. Looking for a ball to Stengel for his third. Sensational Geelong play. Wow. 3 in a row for the Cats. blistering football here at the moment.
Go square, please. Go square.
Again, Max Holmes running with the ball. It's been such a big win for the Cats tonight. Great ball use by Manor. On every occasion, you should mark this ball if you don't know what it's going to do. Tyson Stengel get out the back, and the Cats haven't been able to do that a lot tonight, but on that occasion, they can. Ken Hinkley would be protecting that side of the ground.
Butters is being watched closely by Atkins in the middle. Drew first there for Port Adelaide, off to Rosie, puts the Jets on, skips away. Great kick, Henry. Back with the flight, what a beautiful.
He's been enormous. That last goal-saving effort on Horn Francis moments ago, that was coming off. Dixon holding up superbly back there with a lot of footy coming in.
Patrick Dangerfield coming back on as Francis takes another break. Two highly experienced finals coaches. Ken in his 13th final. Chris Scott his 29th. Byrne Jones to half forward. Off the pack, Duncan there first for Geelong. It's it to Atkins.
Atkins from the standing start. Pounds a long, deep ball. Henry was there off hands. Dangerfield back inside. Cut a hole between three. Close. Wide handball. Myers. Can he escape and goal? You bet he can. They've kicked 4 in a row, the Cats. Goal to 2-quarter. Building for the Cats.
Well, the Cats actually lost the stoppage, but Dangerfield hadn't really needed to reset as the ball had pinballed back out towards Duncan, and from there they just scrambled. But it's the Smalls again from the Cats there, posing the most threats, looking the most dangerous. So it looks like there may be a little bit of rain coming down, Aaron.
Yeah, just starting to come a little bit. And a little bit of breeze towards Port Adelaide's end at the moment.
As they look to take it down there through Drew. Was that a push in the marking contest? It's going Geelong's way. And Henry again. He's proving a very significant blocking agent. Used to Atkins. Leading into the spaces, Humphries, and off he goes. To half forward, Stanley works his way to the front, the lead dropping back. Roved by Dangerfield, how clean. What about Cameron for another ridiculously good finish? What about Jeremy Cameron? Kick them from anywhere. Jeremy Cameron's just having a heck of a time. Everything he touches turns to gold. He had time for a fumble, regained possession and his composure. And can he make that oval ball talk? Two extraordinarily good finishes from the great Jeremy Cameron.
So it's off the back for the Cats, just generating even numbers in front of the ball continually. And then that is just magic, BT.
For a big man, he does small man things with the football, doesn't he?
Absolutely, and even the calculation there. So it was dry 5 minutes ago. That ball would have had greater arc around it. He went the low, flatter, skiddy one. He's a genius.
5th time he's kicked 60 goals in a year. He is every bit the footballing genius. And so is this man here. Horn Francis goes inside. Henry had to commit the body. It was brave, there's no doubt about it. And here is Horn Francis and Atkins. Horn Francis saying to the umpire, I'm going to take the 30 here. I reckon I can nail it. And they are in desperate need of a leadership-type goal, and this is the opportunity for them. And I think Horn-Francis perhaps even sensing this moment.
Yeah, just needs to dry the footy too. There's a little bit of slippage on it. Got to make good contact, otherwise it can skew off.
Kicking it from about 53, 54 metres out. Kicks off to the left, hasn't quite got the accuracy nor the length. With just over 2 minutes remaining in the half. A quarter that has been dominated here by the Cats, leading by 26.
Port Adelaide had been down by 17 in the first quarter, but managed to hit the lead at the 9-minute mark of this term. Geelong has responded in a very profound manner. Holmes to Dangerfield, who can't mark here, but some of his clean-handed work in this last couple of minutes has been quite something.
Spend that meter.
Humphries with his disposals, he's going at 100% at the moment.
Another extraordinary find, BT, Lawson Humphries. Played in a reserves premiership in the WAFL last year with Swan Districts, and here he is not only playing in a qualifying final in the AFL, but absolutely being a key member of this Geelong lineup, Joel.
Just linking up beautifully. You can see out of half back that they try and get it into his hands. Now he's generated as a +1 behind the ball. That's how important he is.
Way out of Bass indeed. Here's Rosie around the corner. Took him on here. I think it's Bose, is it? He got caught in the tackle. And it was a ripper from Mead. Mead thought about the opportunity with Rosie, and he's going to honour that now with a short kick. So 1 minute 30 before the half-time break here. The hill at this end of the ground, have a look at it. They're jammed in like sardines. As Burton unloads, the jump from Radagalia. Boat zigging and zagging. Back out to Rosie. The tackle by Bose was slipped. Got her on the right boot. It's bending towards goal. He kicks an unbelievably timely goal for Port Adelaide. Connor Rosie. In the nick of time. Back to 20 points.
Just have a look at the amount of numbers there. Representation from the Cats, but they were all bees to the honeypot. They all got sucked in. 3 or 4 went up at that marking contest. Left Boak at ground level. He was good enough to put a couple of moves on a zig and a zag. And then to Rosie, strong through the hips. Class finish outside of the boot. Red time goals absolutely kill coaches. Chris Scott would be fuming.
Felt like a really vital one for Port Adelaide. Stanley in Dangerfield. Collects Horn-Francis.
He does play without regard for his body, Paddy Dangerfield, doesn't he?
So those physical contests. Sets himself for another here. Comes to Logan Evans. To centre half forward he goes. Humphries through his hands. The back Bose is caught by Mead. No prior opportunity.
It's a tough time of it at the moment. Jack Bose. So here we go, Port in a scoring position. Horn-Francis, 45 seconds on the clock. Holmes, Myers has come down for a bit of support here. Kick wide. Dangerfield almost colliding with Stengel. Thatcher got it back inside. Can Port make something here? No. 30 seconds and counting here at the moment. So going to stay out of trouble. Mullen it was to Manor. Fake the handball, then got a little gimme kick. Quickly onto the boot. Do they run and go? Bruin goes inside 50. G. Cameron and Aaliyah. Aaliyah nicely done in the end.
So that will see us to half-time.
Welcome to Halftime on Fox Footy, brought to you by Matronics, and the Cats have a commanding halftime lead. Tyson Stengel with 3 goals and Jeremy Cameron with 2 of the best goals you would ever hope to see. Jason Dunstall, David King and Joey Montagna. What are you making of this dominance from the visitors?
Oh, Cats put their foot down in the second term, didn't they? They look exceptional. They're transitioning the ball, they're working hard, they're outrunning their opponents. In fact, they've run Port ragged. And if it wasn't for that late goal from Rosie, just to give them a sniff, they'd be in all sorts, Port.
Don't get beaten by what you know. We all knew that the Cats small forwards want to get out the back, so I'm not sure what's happening in the planning. 2 weeks, Port Adelaide have watched vision, they've studied these guys, they know what Myers is about, they know what Stengel's going to do, and they've allowed them goal side and 5, 6, 7 metres time and time again, and they are lucky to be within 20 points.
And they've been breaking even in clearance, and that's been the go. Port Adelaide's strength this year: win clearance, win contest. Played in their forward half. They haven't really been able to do that. Charlie Dixon giving them nothing forward of the ball for Port Adelaide. Again, it's the smallest. It's Willie Rioli and some of the others, McEntee and these guys that look dangerous. So Port have got some work to do at halftime.
Let's check out some halftime highlights with thanks to Pepsi. Tastes better with Pepsi. And Max Holmes, Joey, you put him on the agenda before the game. 487 metres gained. He has been everywhere.
He's been enormous. His work rate is off the charts. You can see how he just covers the ground. He takes on the game. He's been playing predominantly permanent mid, bit a little bit of wing. Hasn't really gone to half back. Lawson Humphries has done the job with Mitch Duncan across the back line, and I've just loved his game. We spoke about him, how important he is to the Cats. He is one of their best players, and without Tom Stewart, he needed to have this sort of game, and he's been able to deliver in the first half. As I said, Geelong have been able to not just break even with Port around the midfield. They've beaten them, really, in regards to the clearances, and score some clearance plays like this to give them territory, get the ball inside 50, and we've already touched on how dangerous Geelong look once the ball goes inside 50. So if they keep doing this, it's going to be hard to get beaten.
You just feel like it's Jason Hall-Francis or bust at the moment. Yep. And he's only had 8 disposals, Jace. But he's the only one that really threatens to do anything outside the box or something just different off the line or something unpredictable.
The biggest threat for Port at the moment is as soon as the ball hits the ground, there's nothing but Cats numbers hitting it. They're working harder, they're handling it cleanly, and they're making something from the ground balls. There's no presence at ground level from Port Adelaide. If they don't mark it, they're not there. So I don't know how they're going to turn this around, because they're not going to take contested marks or enough of them to put a score on the board, and they're not doing any damage at ground level. So it's going to be a really tough fight back for Port Adelaide in the second half. They've got a lot of work to do here in the room to get their mindset right, to get their tactics right, to try and turn the tide of what looks to be a pretty comfortable pattern for the Cats.
Kingy, let's take a closer look at what the Cats Smalls are doing with thanks to Zero. You've been hard at work in the lab.
Yeah, it's basic, but it's just consistent. It's been this way all day. Just have a look at the space and the luxuries they're given. So Close just steps forward. Now that becomes 10 metres. Look where Cameron is. He's stepping forward. Manna, in a heartbeat, he gets forward. It's just so easy. It's almost like a training drill with mock pressure more often than not. And it's not necessarily the defender's fault, but they've got to be in control of their positioning, referencing the back shoulder of their opponent. They're in pretty good location there, but they go and have no consequence on the pack. They fly when they shouldn't. They look rattled. Clearly, they're missing Houston and Farrell. We've got to put that on the table. But defensively, that really isn't they're offensive beasts, not defensive players. This is too easy. This is substandard for this type of final that they've put on here, Port Adelaide. They've got a lot of work to do.
18 scores they've conceded from 31 entries. Yeah. That does not stack up in finals. And unless they're intercept marking the footy, they've taken 14 intercept marks. So Bergman and Alir have done well at times. Yeah. But once that ball hits ground level, it is Cats absolutely dominating.
Yeah, they're not doing it from hitting loose targets inside 50 and taking marks and kicking goals from set shots. They're just crumbing goals. They're ground ball goals, and they're just killing them.
Joey, the Power are aggressively targeting the corridor. Is it working for them?
Well, that's their play. That's how they want to play. They live and die by the sword, going through the corridor. We saw in the first quarter, it didn't work a few times. They were ultra aggressive, and their kicks like this that don't work out, it just comes straight back, and they have to defend again. But we know this is how they want to play. So in the first quarter, this sort of stuff, it's a bit haphazard. but we know they are number one in the competition by a mile in attacking the corridor. But when it comes off, it works. And a couple of times it was Butters, particularly in that first quarter. So they are going to have to play this way, continue to play this way in the second half, King, if they want to get back in the game.
Well, that was what I was going to ask you. If they are to get back in the game, it almost has to double down on this type of play, doesn't it?
Absolutely. They have to even be more aggressive and risk getting beaten by 10 goals, but know that is their play. Go through the corridor and give their forwards a better look at goal.
Well, we're lucky we've got an incredible seat up here with thanks to Fox Footy. Let's head down to boundary level where Mark Rasciuto and Eddie Betts are watching everything unfold. Guys, what matchups have taken your eye?
Well, one thing we've been looking at, Sarah, is the start of the first quarter and the second quarter. Jason Horne-Francis, the superstar, has been off the ground for the first 6 or 7 minutes of each quarter, Ed. It's really strange.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit strange. The first quarter, it was 7 minutes 30, and then the second quarter, it was 7 minutes. So they need that young superstar on there in that centre bounce.
And down in Geelong in round 9, he was the one that got him going. He's been struggling to get into the game, had less than 10 disposals, and same with Butters and Connor Rosie.
Yeah, he's their superstar. He's so dangerous. So when you get him forward as well, he can kick goals. When he showed that, he created a contest down in the pocket. Goal sets, picked it up, a quick little dribble.
Blixarves has been on Dixon for the entire night. I think Dixon's only had one disposal, and then he's following him up the ground as well.
Yeah, I think that's a game plan that Scotty's come up with. As soon as Dixon goes in the ruck, and he's their best runner. He's their best runner. As soon as he goes in the ruck, go with him and push forward.
Yeah, well, he nearly got that goal in the first quarter. He hit the post. Stengel's been good. You've been watching him, 3 goals.
Yeah, I did. I told Tyce, if you don't kick 5, you're not coming home. So he owes me 5 tonight.
And what about Jezza Cameron's goal in that first quarter from Eddie's pocket?
That was crazy, wasn't it? In the pocket, bending the other way as well. So if you see
run us through how he kicked it.
So it's a difficult one to kick. Here he comes up here from behind. He's a left footer, but running with pressure, hit on the boundary to get it bended like that is a hard kick. But to get up and celebrate, you can't win goal of the year though in finals. So if that was them, just right here, right now, come through. Just another little dribbler on the left foot. Didn't want to go on his right here, Roo. Just a nice little dribbler. And when they played early on in the year, Jez only had one goal won.
Yeah.
So if Geelong had any chance to win tonight, they need to be on fire.
Yeah, they're certainly going well, the Cats, at this stage.
They are Jeremy Cameron, the master of the sublime and the ridiculous. Jace, just want to get your thoughts on Charlie Dixon and his role. I mean, we know he's not at full strength at the moment, but he looks like he's really labouring out there.
Yeah, and they're very one-dimensional. When they're kicking out of defence, they love to kick to that, basically along the side of the centre square, whether it's at half-back or up on the wing. That's where they like him to compete. He's not taking any marks, but they're not crumbing the ball at ground level either. So I don't know what they're going to get out of him. He's been doing the second ruck work. When he does that, Blitzarves is a bit too athletic for him. So I think it's a little bit of a problem for Ken Hinkley, how they get an impact out of him and whether they pull the trigger on the sub and maybe go for a little bit more run.
It is a big weekend of football. We're going to head to John Rolfe for all the news after the break. But first, let's check in with Sportsbet.
Everybody looking forward to the Friday night clash. The two most informed teams in the competition go at it at the MCG, and Hawthorn have been really hard to play against ever since round 5. So they rank number 1 at not conceding disposals through the midfield, and the Bulldogs are very good at that area. So Marcus Bontempelli, the big question for Hawthorn is how do they stop him? Is it Connor Nash that goes to him and plays a running role? Because he's 5 his last 5 games, 25 plus disposals. So the big thing is stopping the Bont. But the Sportsbet feed, copy Real Punters Bets and enjoy the footy.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
I'll see you at the footy. I'll see you at the game. We'll see the crowd is roaring and the play is soaring through the air.
All right, while we wait for the commentators to come back, I tell you what, this game has got twists and turns. Just when we thought Port Adelaide were going to come out of the pack right here after Jed McIntyre kicked that goal, we thought Port Adelaide were on their way. But Geelong, they won't lay down. Their skill, their determination, their experience all comes to the fore, and it certainly did in the second half of that second quarter here. They just went bang, bang, bang. Of course, Port Adelaide got a late goal. Port Adelaide there kicking 3 goals, 3. The Cats, 6 goals, 2. That's more like it. Accurate kicking, folks, that wins games. And of course, after the first quarter of the Cats, 3 goals, 7. They needed to get their kicking boot on, kick a little bit straighter, and do all that. Just one moment, folks. There we go. All right, so let's just have a little bit of a look at some of the disposals here. We see Maxi Holmes still on top there, leading the way at half-time with 16 disposals, 9 kicks, 7 handballs, 3 marks. Graham Myers there for the Catters, doing well with 14 disposals. Travis Boak having a good game, looking reasonably good out there for Port with 14 touches. William Drew with 13. Paddy Dangerfield, the ever superstar Paddy Dangerfield, is going along very nicely. Very, very nicely. And of course, Tom Atkins there with 11. I'll just run down this a little bit. Darcy Byrne-Jones there with 11. Who else we got? Guthrie there on 10. Brad Close on 10 there for the Cats. Georgiadis there with 9 disposals, 6 kicks, 3 handballs, 5 marks, 2 tackles. He's kicked 1, 2. He wants to get his kicking boot on as well. He wants to convert those points into goals for Port Adelaide to get a little bit closer. Tyson Stengel's having a great game, doing a bit of roving, crumbing, doing his job up until half-time. 8 disposals, 6 kicks, 50% to goal ratio. 3 goals he's done. Well done, Squire. Jason Horn-Francis just with 8. I think they were saying he's been off the ground at the start of the quarters for about 7 minutes. I don't know why. He's looked really good out there for Port Adelaide. They need him on the ground and firing. Just the 8 disposals. 1 goal, 1. Looking pretty good. Jack Henry there was 7. Alir was 7. Oliver Henry there was 6. Blixars was 6. Willie Rioli started off the game reasonably well there for Port. Just the 5 touches up until half-time, though. He's kicked a goal. Let's have a look at the goal scorers as I take this back up, and we'll head back down to the commentators not too far away, folks. Tyson Stengel leading the way with 3. Jeremy Cameron, the big man down there for the Catters, he's kicked 2 off. He's 4 kicks. And Connor Rose there with 1 with Rioli. Myers with 1. McIntyre with 1. Manning with 1. Jason Horn-Francis with 1. Oliver Henry, Georgiadis, Burton and Bowles with 1. We'll come back and have a look. Let's just have a quick look at the fantasy points. Myers there was 68, tops the table. We'll come back and have a look at the team stats in a moment. We'll get back down to the commentators to see what else they have to say.
Can run and carry, but I don't know if they can outrun the Cats. They're getting outworked at the moment. I think it's a genuine concern for Port.
Plenty of problems for them to address. Let's head back to Fox Footy HQ and the Matronics newsroom. John Ralph, Cats fans want to know, are we going to see Tom Hawkins or Guthrie again this season? They're in action in the VFL on the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. We certainly are. They got through a training session at GMHBA Stadium this afternoon, so that means Hawkins is on track for his first VFL game since 2011. That game, 11:30 against Southport at GMHBA.
All right, so while they're just talking a little bit about that, let's just go and have a quick look at the team disposals there. It's the Cats by, 27 disposals overall, just 10 more kicks, 17 more handballs. Inside 50s, both teams well and truly above their season average. 35 inside 50s for Port Adelaide, just with the 13 scoring shots. They probably need to do a little bit better than that if they want to go further into the finals. Geelong, 31 inside 50s to 18 scoring shots. That's more like it, Catters. That's more like it. That's what you've got to do. Disposal efficiency, 69, 73. Cats looking a little bit better there. Inside 50 efficiency, only 37% to Port Adelaide, a bit under their average. Geelong well up there. Over 10% up on their season's average to 54.8. Free kicks, not many free kicks being given out there. So, surprisingly enough, this is a high-pressure game. Both teams bringing the pressure. As I said, the class of Geelong are coming to the fore, doing it really well. 6-4 the free kicks, Geelong's way. Stoppages though, hit-outs. Port Adelaide dominating there by 22. Clearances, pretty much all tied up, 21-20. As is centre clearances and stoppage clearances. Contested possession, that's pretty even too, 72-65. 7 for Port Adelaide in front there, but uncontested possession. Geelong controlling the ball a little bit more around the ground. 31. Turnovers, 37, 65. All pretty square there. Time in possession for the match. Geelong ahead there by 6%. 45 to 39. Last 10 minutes of that second quarter, 40%. Port Adelaide were in charge of the ball there to 29% for the Cats. 45-46 marks, pretty well dead even there. Just one of the Catters. Marks inside 50. As you can see, Geelong 7, Port Adelaide 3. Geelong finding their targets a little bit more. I did notice Port Adelaide going inside 50. They tend to be bombing the ball in there all too often, and that just made for easy spoil for the Cats' defence. Regain the ball and then drive it out of their back 50. So Port Adelaide need to lower the eyes, find the targets, get a bit of open space, hit them up, lace out, and we'll see the marks increase for Port Adelaide inside 50 and give them a little bit better opportunity to score a major. Contested marks 11 to 5. Port Adelaide a little bit stronger in the air, just not so inside 50. Defensive tackles 32-27. Nice pressure on by both. Tackles inside 50. Port Adelaide, though, getting the job done there. 11 to 4. 1%, 16 to 18. There we go. Pretty even there. That is the player stats, folks, and the team stats. Only 3 minutes away until the bounce of the ball. We're just waiting for the commentators to come back. We'll take you back down to them. Paul in Asia, how you going? What's going on? Howdy doody, Joffa boy. What's going on? Caleb Dempsey, Guitar Pro, yay, how you going? BH God with King Admiral. Port, I know, Port's like that, only 20 points adrift. You know what? 20 points, that margin can be brought back pretty quickly. Port have been, well, they've only been just in spurts. Have looked pretty good. Geelong have been in control. They've looked pretty good. Port did look like they had Geelong on their legs there in that first 10 minutes of that second quarter, but just the experience, maybe the game's just overroaring Port Adelaide a bit. So maybe after half time, they'll settle into their groove a little bit and do the right things. I think, one of the things that Port just need to fix up a little bit is driving the ball inside their forward 50, looking for their targets, opening up, getting a bit of space instead of bombing the ball in for an easy spoil. Stay hunky. Mike, thanks for coming in. Stay hunky. Nanette, Taddy, Ryan, good stuff. Good to see everyone. Ken Worth, thanks for coming in. Carly, someone should have time. There we go. I love you, Bianca, from your husband, Nick. Sana, Paquette. Good stuff, Tina and Bim Bim. Mega love shout out to my manager. Thanks for coming in. Ali, ADG, and everyone. All right, folks, that's enough for me. Port needs to stop the uncontested marks. They're doing not too bad. They're getting plenty of inside 50s. As I said, they're just driving the ball in with long bombs, and that's never going to do it. They need to find another way. They need to open up space. They need to get the ball running quick, and they'll find their loose men and give themselves chances. All right, that's enough of me talking, folks. Let's head back to the commentators, and they will take us in to the third quarter. Geelong by 20 points.
Liner.
They work so hard up the ground and then they work even harder back towards goal. And the number of times we've seen 2, 3 and 4 Cats forwards getting goal side of their opponent, it's almost been laughable at times, Kingy, hasn't it?
It has. I look at Close's game, right? We haven't talked a lot about him. He's had 10 disposals. 7 of those have become scores because it's almost leapfrog at high speed. It's all it is. It's the same play, rinse and repeat. That there, it's just the 3 metres that kill you. As a defensive player, you've got to start back shoulder. Look at this. In flow, all the Cats players goal side. You just don't see that. It's just luxuries that are not given at this stage of the season.
Well, we've seen it before from these Cats Smalls. We spoke about the grand final 2022. Close and Stengel were 2 of the best players on the ground. Stengel had a great final series. He's doing it again. The Smalls are the ones. Ground level in finals. The Talls are just doing their bit and they're getting to work. And Port Adelaide small defenders haven't had the answers.
We know this year in particular, no lead is safe. It's only 20 points at half-time. Joey, if they can kick an early goal or two, get the crowd back in, get the energy and noise on their side, look out.
Absolutely, yeah. We've seen Port Adelaide pile on goals. They've done that a number of times this year in quarters. Centre bounce is going to be important. I think they've got to win centre bounce and get some good looks, but we know they are more than capable.
Forward half clearances tonight, they've scored 6 points. They normally average 2.5, 3 goals. So there's an opportunity there for them to get busy, get on the move, get more aggressive, Jason. I feel like they've played with the restrictor on tonight. They haven't really exploded at all this midfield.
No, they haven't. But from a Cats perspective, it's just more of the same from Chris Scott. Be relentless, the way you're attacking the footy, the pressure they put on. Butters starting on the bench. This time it's Horn Francis out in the middle of the ground. So I wonder if there's anything to worry about here.
Potentially a big story developing. Our understanding is that Butters is sore, so a close look on whether he takes any further part in this match. Of course, they do have the double chance as we head back out into the middle. It is the Cats leading up by 20 points. A home prelim final is on the line.
Second half in the qualifying final, the Cats up by 20 points. Port Adelaide without the services of one of their best. Drew gets it moving forward. Bowes to Atkins. Back to Blitzarves. To Kolajasny. Holmes has been really good for Geelong. Smashes it forward by hand to Dangerfield. Dangerfield inside 50. Where's Cameron in this contest? Neil up in front. Still goes after it. He's tackled by Bergman. Aaron Phillips on the boundary.
Yeah, guys, Zach Butters straight to the back, putting the top on, subbed out. Narkle will come in.
Huge moment in the game there. Their best mids out. Cameron. Little handball here to Mullen. And the corner got too much bend on it. So that is a massive, massive moment in this game. To have Butters out of the game. Kenny Hinkley suggesting they needed to make a very early decision, and they've done that.
And you have to have the feeling that if Zach Butters is sore, he's generally very, very sore. So a big, big loss for Port Adelaide.
Burt to the back flank, and Lear there. Kicks to the wing. Guthrie, good hands. If Port Adelaide could find a way to win, then Butters would get that week to recover. If not, playing next week here against either Hawthorn or the Western Bulldogs. Two informed teams. So Thatcher's got work to do. Knocked by Dangerfield to Dempsey to Bowes, who will line them up from directly in front. So it's some very influential moments, Patrick Dangerfield, that have set up goals for Geelong. Bowes has kicked one. Push the margin out as far as it's been. Got it. A 27-point lead to the Cats. The influence of Butters on this game will not continue. So the challenge thrown down to Port Adelaide in a very significant way now by Geelong.
This has been a bit of a theme of the night. You see Zerk Thatcher there, just bottom of your screen, coming in but having no real impact. A poor decision comes to him at ground level, but Dempsey was the man that he was sagging off. No impact, outnumber at ground level, and really clever, composed football there from Dempsey.
Incredible stuff from Dangerfield in amongst all of that. 27-point lead here for the Cats at the moment. Inside 54. Taken here by Blitzarves. That was their first set shot goal they've kicked tonight. Geelong 1 goal 6 from set shots. Holmes. Back half for the Cats. Too strong with the kick. Jones got some work to do to defend this. Stengel, the overlap from Dangerfield. Dangerfield with a drilling ball. Look at that on the lead to Henry. Magnificent kick, equally good take from Henry.
What about that little move on the wing from Stengel? Jones looked like he had great positioning, had the football. Tyson came in and just said, no, I'll have that one, thank you, off to Dangerfield.
Beautiful kick by Dangerfield. So he's been prominent early in the second half, hasn't he?
A couple of big moments early.
Henry in front of that packed hill. Took way out in front of the goal. That was never going to get back. It almost looked a little deliberate there. So a fast-starting Cats here in the second half.
You just have a feeling that Paddy Dangerfield knows how important this is tonight. The start to this third quarter, so important.
Stanley and Sweet. Sweet knocked it down, but it's rode by Manor, who puts it through. He's having a night as well. Well, those that have made the trip, we saw the buses pre-game, the shots of Geelong fans at GMHBA Stadium making the long trip, and they are being rewarded for it by their excellent, very efficient side.
Well, we've heard about Geelong Smalls all week, and this is a sixth goal for tonight by one of them, and second goal for Manor. He's just a big game player. We think back to that grand final that he played in the VFL. Well, he's on a bigger stage than that tonight.
And he played for Werribee, did he not, in that game? Kick 6, I think.
Losing grand final, that was, BT.
Yeah. To the middle of the road. Just wondering, with others on the bench, whether Kenny Hinkley decided to do that at that time so that the players in his team didn't know about it, so it wouldn't suck the wind out of them, perhaps. Do you think just for a quarter they wouldn't know what's going on? Is that possible?
There's probably something in it. The fact that Narkwood came out of half-time without any boots on, it may allude to the fact that there was either a quick decision made or a well-calculated one like you're suggesting.
Bruin, driving ball inside 50 or thereabouts here. Dempsey, clever tap on head. Stengel, he's got 3. This time he goes for the banana, running from the boundary. Only he would have the licence to do that. I think others would be looking to centre the footy.
I think if you found it in slow-mo enough, there may have been a quick glance inside.
Geez, you're kind, does he?
Minuscule it may have been, Joel.
Very kind.
Are you saying there's no licence for anyone, Joel?
No, licence.
You're going to bore us with that?
No, Jeremy can have a licence too, I think.
Burton gets it to the wing. Off the hand of Radigalea, socket on by Burgoyne, and that'll work. Marked by Georgiades, too far out. Dixon needs a mark. It's not a good kick for him. He plays for the free kick, felt the jumper was held by Blitzarves. Blitzarves sees the ball out of play, and Charlie's frustration is evident. Is there a glance? Oh, is that what you're referring to?
There you go.
He's got good eyes, Daisy, doesn't he?
Just think like a small forward still, Joel.
Straight out of the small forwards playbook. Quick glance, no intention. Drew, his intention's clear. It's curling back. Hasn't got enough carry. Humphries gets back. Henry there, and Radigalea denied.
Well, it may be front at one end with the Cats, but this is genuine danger zone for Port Adelaide right now. The next couple of minutes here, if they can't find a way to score or at least get the hands on the footy, this is slipping away quickly.
Burton had it knocked out of his hands there by Henry. Burgoyne getting it to Rioli at centre-half forward. Got to find something, got to make something happen here. Port Adelaide, James the tackler.
Got to get their hands on the footy. 26 disposals to 9 in this quarter alone. -2 contested ball.
Just looking at Humphries again. He's had 12 touches of the footy, 100% disposal effectiveness. He just keeps getting it done, this man. The only player on the ground, I think Miles Bergman, the only other one, perhaps with over 8 possessions, at 100%. And the Bruin ripped to the ground here by Burton. And by Brett Roseberry will ball it up. Sweet and Stanley, Sweet with the clever little tap. Manor in front, all over him was Rosie.
Sweet. Holding the mat. It'll be a free kick to Manor. Rosie holding on. Off to Atkins and back where it came from. A driving ball. Henry was held.
Henry, stand. Yes.
Stanley is a tall target deep, but the kick goes to another tall in the pocket, Neil. This is starting to get a touch out of hand for Port Adelaide.
It's just constant movement in that forward line that's so hard to defend. But just a little thing again, give away the free kick at the source. You've got a couple of repeat stoppages up your end of the ground. Geelong so quick tonight from turning defence just straight back into offence.
Tied on the boundary. Neil's kick misses to the near side.
Not a bad record at the Adelaide Oval. Geelong 11-9 coming into this game. A lot of talk here. Record wasn't too good. Well, for an away team, I think that's not too bad. Plenty of Port fans in the house here tonight. In excess of 50,000 tickets sold. Finals alive in 2024. Will Francis pursued by Bruin. Run down in the end. Little handball out. Little wonky from Burton. Got to go there, Logan Evans. Picked up by Cameron from that pocket. Snap. This time across the face. Dempsey trying to improve it. Boat wonderful while sitting on backside. Zerp Thatcher pulled the kick a little. Plenty of Geelong players around here. Close with a centering ball to Tanner Bruin. And the Cats with an opportunity to go to a 40-point lead. And this is slipping away from Ken Hinkley and his team.
Just the tenacity of the Cats. Every contest, foot on throat, pressing forward there, Kolajasny. Right decision, finding a teammate in the better part of the ground to have the more high percentage shot. It's been rather professional so far.
His 16th game for the year. Just the 4 goals this year for Tanner Bruin. From 35, he slots it. Geelong lead by 40 points. Kicked 8 of the last 9 goals here, the Cats.
Tanner Bruin does a great job, so much energy to this side and just finishes with the goal there. Great reaction. Look at the young players get around him. And now we're going to have to think about Port Adelaide. What are they going to do to get back into these days?
Well, Knuckles come on. Does he have the ability, you played with him at the Cats, to go through the midfield? Can you put a Horn Francis deep, one out in the square, roll the dice that way?
You have to start thinking about it. They're still playing 6 forwards deep at the moment. Can they bring him up the ground?
Dixon's gone in, penetrating ball, and it's marked by Kolajasny.
So they're little things. You just cannot let that be marked. It's a genuine 2-on-2. Have to find a way to get it to ground. Similar with that, Geelong at the moment coming up big in every one of the moments.
Chris Scott's thought there was that Mead had given away a 50-metre penalty. He grappled with Blitzarves after he'd taken the mark. Bergman can't cling on. Tackled by Henry, got underneath him, hand pass too hot for Burgoyne. Manor slices his kick towards the half-forward flank and over.
Quite a clever kick by Manor there, just a defensive kick, keep it skinny, don't try and open up the ground and let Port Adelaide run it out the other side.
Beautiful low shot of the Adelaide Oval and that new stand. Stanley. Through Burn-Jones. Lovely smother by Bruin. Handball to Dangerfield. Penny Dangerfield smothered. 182 games for the Cats, Dangerfield. The same as the great jumping Jack Hawkins played for Geelong. 336 in total for Paddy Dangerfield. And he's got footy left in him. He's been amazing. He will win there. Burgoyne. Wines. Mead through some traffic. Can they conjure something up here? The gap closed quickly on Wines. It'll give me a kick by Myers. Impressive. He's so good. Hand to boot.
Duncan. What a kick. Hard and fast to Bowes. And he can line up for his third.
You just see the smarts of the other players for the Cats. Just make sure you take your 30 seconds here. I know there's still a long time to go in this game, but you talk about the seconds, and the Magpies were the best at it last year, and they taught everyone else in the competition a big lesson.
Playing finals football for the first time, Jack Bowes. His kick is pulled away to the left. Taking 5 marks inside 50 this quarter, the Cats. Really starting to get hold of Port Adelaide.
That side of the post.
The only thing they're not doing is converting. In terms of majors, doing it by ones, probably not going to be good enough. At some point, Port Adelaide are going to get this quarter on their terms.
Yeah, their 6-shot goal kicking in particular tonight has been for the Cats. Here is Narkle, Duncan, Humphreys, Bruin, Narkle, eyes the ball, almost runs over Manor. In his manic effort, a lot of tackle pressure there.
And that's the pressure that I thought we were going to come out to see tonight at Port Adelaide. Really get in face of Geelong, put lots of heat on the ball.
Francis Evans coming on. And 3 former Cats in the Port Adelaide side, Narkle and Radigalia as well. Blitzarves in front, smashed forward by Narkle. Humphreys in the road, towards Bruin. Bruin caught the heavy one from Burn Jones, and Rosie taken over in the Manor tackle. Just the capacity, Joel, of Geelong to find players. So Manor, he produces. Humphrey, he produces. Then going back to Tim Kelly, Tom Stewart, Atkins. Just time and time again, these jewels are found that have sort of been overlooked.
Obviously had great people sit within the development program. Nigel Lappert heads that up right now. One of the best across the league.
Stengel, did you mention him?
Yeah, another one. Got his second chance at the Cats.
Absolutely. Everyone else thought he was gone. Gee, that's a dangerous tackle there by Willem Drew. He dumped Blitzarves on his head. And Brent Wallace absolutely nailed that. Now Mitch Duncan. High ball. Here comes Dempsey. Got a mark uncontested on the lead, going straight up the eye, little. This for a 46-point lead will just about fry Kenny Hinkley's brain.
And rightfully so. Once the replay comes of this, the Willem Drew tackle, probably a free kick. I'm not sure there's anything else to come, but the fact that that ball hung in the air for so long, a clear disconnection of the 2 groups of forwards and just trailing in, not good enough.
Dempsey from 25 out. Oh, that's pretty ordinary off the boot. Didn't kick it. Didn't get through it at all. Quit on it. Quit on the moment of impact.
2 goals, 8 from set shots tonight, Geelong.
Move it on. Stand.
Drew.
No, stand.
Hand pass back to where it came from. We heard the description from Simon Meredith there because he faked to hand pass. There was no encroachment in the protected space. Colin Jasny. Bergman should mark this, and does. And find one Port Adelaide just to stem the flow a bit and maybe build some confidence on the back of that. 1 become 2, and they work their way back. Georgiades in the pack, couldn't mark it. Guthrie collects. Back to the wing. Dangerfield, great use of the body on Burton. And bursts away as well. He kicks to Neil. Over the back, he's got it. Dangerfield's having a big final.
Again, it's a one-on-one win on the wing, and then rolling. As a defender, you're trying to scrap, you're trying to get back. You can see Alir getting involved there as well.
2 more metres.
And in the end,
10 metres away.
Neil just takes the mark out the back, but it's a one-on-one up the ground. That's the big win.
Well, this match really should already be over. If not for Geelong's inaccurate set shot goal kicking. Can Neil buck the trend? He does. Right through the middle it goes. It'll be a night to remember, it seems, for those Geelong fans. This is now extremely comprehensive from the Cats.
Well, it's been a tough night for Port. You even see that last play, Alia and Sir Thatcher gets falling over each other. Now, Kenny Hinkley's probably rubbing his head. What more levers can I pull here? Tough night for the Port.
4 in a row in the quarter here. In the middle would come with Atkins. Dangerfield looking for Duncan, very wide. Berglund got in the way. Duncan stripped in the ball. 4 on 2 it is. In favour of the Cats, close around the corner. Henry in front, off hands Cameron, and he's not preferred. Bending, not enough. I reckon the crowd here for Port Adelaide, I know it's 48 points, but they're thinking about securing seats for next week, because they're going to be back here, and Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn if things don't shape up really quickly.
It's hard to comprehend at some level that there's still 6 minutes to go in the quarter.
Yeah.
In the third quarter, and that's the conversations we're having, but no doubt that has to be a thought from also the coaching staff. At what point do you say, okay, we need to preserve some energy?
Well, I reckon a lot of that is they, at the moment, playing without a lot of life as well.
There's a lot of aggressive ball movement in that first quarter, in particular from Port Adelaide, Joel, and he's struggling to really get the ball at the moment, nor use it in the same confident manner as the Cats just do it time and time again. Stengel hits up Henry. And Zach Butters, a forlorn look on his face. Subbed out at the start of the second half. The only information we have at this point came from Ken Hinkley, the coach, with Aaron Phillips, who says he saw. Investigate that further as the night goes on. Ollie Henry's kicked one. It flirts with the right post, and it's another set shot miss for the Cats.
Yeah, the holes have definitely opened up. They lost confidence in the game style that they were playing, Alan. You just think maybe they've got to go back to the long down the line contest, up the middle of the ground. Then they at least know where the ball's going. Play surge footy from there.
Burgoyne. Short ball to McIntyre. Burgoyne again launches Stanley in the way though. Good spoil by Radicalia, aggressive one. Georgiani's trying to clear it out, and Guthrie's caught with the footy. Cam Guthrie also playing in the VFL this weekend, is that right?
He is. He was actually up to play last weekend, but got hit by COVID, so he just didn't manage to make it out. So he'll have a run around come Saturday.
Bose. This side of the boot didn't quite get the spinny poked on it, kicked it out of bounds on the full. There's a shot of Butters there. And Francis committing. But there's some reports that it might be ribs for Butters, but I don't know where that's coming from.
Just every time they've tried this, Geelong's just had it covered by being man on man or having an extra over that side of the ground.
Bergman to Alia. Zerk Thatcher needs to take some territory. Narkle's got to stand in front, and Stanley with the reach over the top.
And that was an example of when they had manufactured a +1 on this side of the ground, Port. But Dangerfield came forward, closed down the option that Zerk Thatcher was going to go to, which allowed Stanley to press forward. And then in the end, you get a nice intercept mark, but also The ground is now spread when you win the ball back. So there's holes that you can pick your way through. You can chip mark at the length of the field.
Henry to Stanley.
Stand, John.
There's not a lot of pace in this game at the moment. Fantastic first half. Ball was pinging from one end to the other. Friedrich served Thatcher in the marking contest.
Come back on, Stan.
I think Geelong would be happy to just bring it to a halt in this quarter and waste this last 3 or 4 minutes. There's Narkle, the man who replaced Butters. High footy, difficult job for Horn Francis and Radagalia in there, and it'll find the boundary. So a 20-point margin at half-time. It's now a 49-point margin as we get close to three-quarter time. And becoming a little impatient, a little irritated here. Not seeing their team play the incredible football they know they can. Horn Francis will get the free.
Well, again, it's the pace through the stoppage. Knew the contact was coming, felt for it, drew it in a manner in which it had to be paid.
Jack.
So Jason Horn Francis kicked one in the first quarter. Needless to say, they are in absolute desperate need. They haven't kicked one in this quarter at all. 35-metre kick, and that's left as well.
Horn Francis, 1-2. Holmes has decided it's time to show his athletic prowess as he runs at 60 metres. Bounces past Dempsey.
Just the confidence in your own ability. He's become such an important player. He was way back 3 or 4 years ago. Paddy Dangerfield said he had the capabilities to become the best player in the comp.
Here's Rosie. Drew, all under pressure. Narkle couldn't handle it. Guthrie did and gave it to the impressive Manor. Manor from centre wing. He's gone out on the full.
Fair to say Paddy went pretty early on that call, guys.
There are signs, though. There are signs, Joel.
Bergman. That Bergman went the longer option. That was a little better, perhaps. McAtee has overkicked it down the throat of Kolajasny. Kolajasny in game 197 for him. Cameron's got the free if they want to pull it up. Advantage is paid, so it's play on, says Simon Meredith. Cameron skirts with the boundary line, finds Bowes. And very happy to take seconds off the clock here and have no further scoring. Bowes hugging the boundary line. Henry the target, Bergman the defender. Aaliyah got rid of it only as far as Henry. Tries to bend it around the corner. Dangerfield almost. But a difficult one to catch.
Port Adelaide haven't taken a mark inside forward 50 since quarter one. In this quarter alone, the Cats have taken 8. It's become stark very quickly.
Stanley and Sweetburn-Jones. Rosie, he's caught! Trouble! That says it all for Port Adelaide. The captain nailed. And look at the hunger, the appetite of Manor and Stengel. He was able to brush Stengel, but not Manor. He's kicked 2 in his first AFL final, Sean Manor.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah. Just that one more with me. Yeah, there we go.
He is doing the number 7 at Geelong justice. So the Cats close in on 100. Manor, wearing the great Paul Couch's number. He has kicked 3 goals in his first final. And this is an absolute romp from Geelong. commanding in every respect. And a performance tonight that says something quite stark.
First time he's kicked 3 in any game.
There you go. And just the hunger that you speak about. We spoke about it being a dogfight, and those small forwards were going to bring it tonight, Al. And that's what we see. Stengel went for the first one, just missed. Chris Scott with Steve Saunders there, the head physio, probably talking through maybe
possibility of...
Oh, maybe one of the older players. There's a fair few out there, BT. I'm not sure which one it will be.
So you've no doubt that would be the conversation between Steve Saunders and Chris Scott. That would be about, if we do it, who is it?
I absolutely think that it would be.
Yep.
No doubt they would have had the conversation in the box before that.
There's Manor again. Kick back into close, and he was brave to go in there.
But the role that Zach Tui will come and play will be in and behind the ball, make sure that Port Adelaide can get absolutely no run out of this last quarter.
So to make it an even 60 points, can you believe it? It was 20 points at half-time for a 60-point three-quarter time margin. Chris Scott in conversation with players and fitness staff about what they do from here. Close. In his 100th game, misses. So a 55-point Geelong margin here at three-quarter time. And lots of discussion going on with the Geelong hierarchy here about positioning themselves going forward from here. 14-16, 100, leading Port Adelaide 6-9, 45.
Well. What have we got to say about this? Oh, I tell you what. Do Port really know it's finals time? Geelong certainly do. And that is a thing. This is a season side Geelong. So we keep saying throughout the home and away games, folks. That's one section, but it's a whole different ball game come the finals. That is the time when teams, they've got to show pressure, they've got to show guts, they've got to show determination, they've got to show fight, they've got to show want, will, desire. They want to be there. Do they want it bad enough, Port? Why do they keep going out in straight sets and getting beaten? I don't know. That is the million-dollar question. As you said, maybe, a change in coach might see a different light to the players. Just like it happened with Buckley and McRae. Took them to the premiership, a year or two later. It could be the same with Port Adelaide. No one expected this to happen tonight. 55 points. The Cats at three-quarter time. Port Adelaide, they just put on 2 points in the third quarter. Geelong, 5 goals, 7. 5 goals, 7. I think for Port's sake, for Port's supporters, they need to show a little bit in this final quarter. This margin's too big. They can't come back from here, 55 points. But they need to show some grit and grime. They need to fight this last quarter. They need to finish this quarter off well with a little bit of form. That might take them into next week. I'm worried for Port next week because they play either the Western Bulldogs or Hawthorn. That's going to be a harder match than this game for Port Adelaide. Both those two teams, they're young. They run all day. They're not going to give you an inch. Port Adelaide, show a little bit of fight in this last quarter. Come on. Do it for everyone out there. Do it for everyone. Do it for all the Port Adelaide supporters. Anyway, let's just have a look at some of the player stats, see how they stand out now. As I said, there's no superstars in Geelong tonight. This is a team effort across the board. 19 disposals, Maxi Holmes leading the way. 11 kicks, 8 handballs, 5 marks, a tackle. He's kicked it behind. That just shows you the domination of Geelong, yet no one player is dominating. That means the team is dominating. Chris Brown, how you going, Squire? How you going? I hope the Cats will win by 80. I'll tell you what, the way they're looking at it, they may do. Or they just may rest a couple of their big guns. But that being said, Geelong will have a week off next week, so they want to keep this form going. Geelong will probably want to press until the final siren. They don't want to ease their foot off the accelerator. Port Adelaide need to get a move on. They need to show something in this last quarter. Give your fans a little bit of hope. Inspire them a little bit in this last quarter to come back next week when you play one of those other good sides. There are your team stats or your player stats. There we go. All right, that's enough of me. Let's get back down to the commentators. Only a minute away from the final quarter. It's the Cats by 55. Can they extend the lead, or can Port Adelaide show a little bit of grit? Let's get back to the commentators, see what they have to say before we go into the final quarter.
But they've scored 14 times. Port Adelaide have won 28 and only scored 5. So minimise the damage if you lose it and just get it in. Now, Jace, this is a passage of play that horrified us in a lot of ways.
It is. There's a couple of Port players in position to go back. Neither chose to. Neither actually bothered to look behind and see what was happening. And if they had one of them would have gone. Lockie Jones in particular was probably best positioned to go back. But everyone by now is starting to become very insular, thinking, what's my man doing? You're not thinking team, you're thinking yourself. You're going into self-protection mode. And it's really falling apart. It's getting very ugly for Port now.
And this is probably off the back of the body language we saw at half-time. Yep. They showed vision of Port Adelaide in the rooms at half-time, and the body language looked poor. They looked like they were in their own heads. They were disconnected from the group, and they came out and played exactly like it in the third quarter.
It's too easy, isn't it? I mean, they're just too easy to play against Port Adelaide, and I know they're missing some star factor players at half-back, but the organisation, the communication, the leadership, it's all just dissipated. Within the space of 14 days, they look a shell tonight of what they've been all year.
And have a look at this. So they are getting scored against almost 7 out of 10 entries. It is on track to be the second worst result by any team this season. That's how badly they are defending now. That quarter, 14 entries, they got scored against 12 times. And if it wasn't for the inaccuracy of Geelong, this could be an even bigger margin. It's one of the poorer finals we've seen by a team in a while.
They've just fallen right away, haven't they? Defence is horrible. And in attack, they have only one method, kick long to a contest. And it ain't working.
Hats off to the Cats. They have been absolutely superb, and they are 1 quarter away from booking a prelim final at the MCG. You're watching it all unfold right here on Fox Footy.
The Cats look headed for a home preliminary final. Horn Francis, he's known for big finishes, but the extraordinary required here for Port Adelaide. Myers. A little too short for Mullen, but he's good enough, but then falls over and gave it up to Narkle. Uses his left. Kolajasny couldn't quite take it. Radigalea off to Georgiades. Hughes pursues him. The kick is over the head of Dixon. Terrible skill execution. Blitzarves thumps it out towards the wing. Up in front of Leah. The intercept for Port Adelaide. Into the middle. Towards the middle, Horn Francis.
Horn Francis. Yeah, one low ball in here, markedly taken by Blitzarves. Charlie Dixon going forward from here, guys. What are you thinking?
Well, you've got to think what he does bring to the side, and it's when he brings it to the ground, he just hasn't had that many opportunities where it's been kicked. It's been really quick when it's going to the forward line. It doesn't really suit him. He needs a big contest to bring to ground, but they do have Todd Marshall waiting in the wings.
An emergency tonight. Todd Marshall. Stanley trying to spoil a lead. So, I don't know how they go about it here, Port, in this last quarter. How do you avoid injury? Set yourself up for an opportunity to win a final next week. Dangerfield. There is Manor. Unselfishly to Myers. And this will be an easy one. So this will make it 6 Geelong goals in a row. Myers for his second. And the fast starting Cats here in the final quarter.
Paddy Dangerfield, ever alert. Not the greatest kick of all time, but strength as we see. Just have a look at Manor here when he disposes of this footy. Hands straight in the air, celebrating the fact that he's brought another goal for his side. Joel, at what point does Paddy Dangerfield come off? Because he is trying as hard as ever, and I assume he's somebody that Cats can't afford to lose.
Yeah, it's a good point, Daze. It's a chat that I'm sure the Cats would have spoken through at three-quarter time, but yeah, it's controlling Paddy too. He's obviously having a lot of fun out there tonight.
They almost botched that. Port Adelaide is sweet, and Rioli threatened to conspire against each other. Rioli takes the mark and can line up.
It terrifies me the way that Danger goes about it because it's one speed.
Yeah.
It is flat out, and when you have got a slight history of hammies, soft tissues, the longer this game goes, the more susceptible you become.
For their first goal of the second half, Port Adelaide. Rioli on approach, touch ball. Guthrie Hurd is immediately tackled by Georgiades and a ball up at the top of the square.
Stanley, Guthrie and Dempsey. Trying to get it out of the danger zone here. Port Adelaide players around. Darcy Burn-Jones, Rioli, quick. The chip kick is good and Ryan can take the mark. Both coaches are in a difficult situation here because the result is beyond doubt. But both coaches are trying to set themselves up to be in good positions to go forward from here. It's difficult.
Well, that's it. So for Ken Hinkley, the occasion, albeit it's going to be harder, go the long way, you still got to win 3 games. So that's for him. For Chris Scott, we'll have the week off. Just want to go in fresh to there. Here comes Paddy Dangerfield to the bench.
Wines just offline. And so do you rest players? Do you take them off? Are you fully committing them to this last quarter? Is someone like Dangerfield going to sit a bit more on the bench in this last quarter? What happens?
Well, I think it's a more fascinating question and thought for Port Adelaide because you need to carry something into next week and find a way to, you'd imagine, at least win a quarter. But also the only thing that could make tonight worse is an injury or two. And if that's to happen on the back of continuing to try and win a game that you simply can't.
You're not saying, Daze, pull the shutters down, are you?
I'm not saying pull the shutters down in terms of that being the open conversation. But if I was in the coach's box, that's probably the open conversation I'd be having, if you can make sense of that, Brian.
No, I can't.
Bergman bounces the ball inside the 50. You two speak the unique language. Holmes.
But I know what you're trying to say.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Logan Evans. Back with the flight. Henry's there. Rioli trying to go to work. His chip kick. Burgoyne there. Pops it through. Port finally has a major. Jace Burgoyne in his first final kicks a goal. The first goal since the 30-minute mark of the second quarter when Connor Rosie drew them back within 20. It wasn't all that long ago that Port Adelaide had actually taken the lead in this game after a fast Geelong start. Things turned sharply.
We're just trying to take positives out of tonight. It's these young players playing their first final, if anything, for Port Adelaide. Well, they've had a taste of the stage, what it's going to be like. They've played in showdowns, but here gives them the first taste of their finals. You think of Georgiades, Burgoyne, Evans, Radagalia even. It's going to put them in good stead for next week.
I know it's a hard thing for the coach. I'm not letting Paddy Dangerfield take any further part of this game with a history of soft tissue. I'm saying that's it for you, Paddy. And I know the coaches will always say and respond by saying it puts too much pressure on other players. There's Burn-Jones. And they're away. Burgoyne's got on the end of this. Dixon's got one here sitting perfectly over the top was Blitzarves. And Holmes is taken high by Narkle.
So how interesting his positioning's been today. Around the ball early when it was really needed his quick feet around the play, but in the second half he's gone to half back, tried to take the run away from Port Adelaide, be the first back, help with the spare in defence.
Hughes towards Myers, punched away by Burn-Jones. Burn-Jones influential this season in an offensive way. Hasn't been able to fill that role tonight. Knocked forward by Mullen, winds there, into the middle he goes. The hands of Francis Evans, he almost marked that, I reckon. The umpire had called play on and will now call for a ball up.
Which is meaning that Tom Stewart being laid out hasn't had a great impact, has it? Fairly one-sided second halves. He's obviously an incredibly important player, but so even are the Cats. And such team footy that they're playing.
So that's the belief that Chris Scott puts in them. Even early in the week, the game plan would have stayed the same with him going out. A couple of little changes, but would have had great confidence. Whoever they pull out, the next guy will be ready to go.
I feel the pressure they were able to put and the heat they were able to put up, the power under. It wouldn't have mattered who was back there defending. You would have had a decent chance. There was no clean ball coming in.
Bruin towards Dempsey, both there with him. Burton lends assistance. He's tackled and pulled over by Myers.
Also wonder how much planning he would have done for Tom Stewart in the side. They were the ones back in round 9 who first sent somebody to him to take away the influence, to tag him off half back, and from there the magnet has had to be moved into that midfield.
Chris Scott leaving the box. Maybe to go down to the bench.
Wyatt spoke. Sorry, Aaron.
Beach, I reckon Paddy's heard you and put his feet up for the night. Really enjoying the view from the bench at the moment.
He looks very relaxed down there, Aaron. Job done. Legs crossed, lean back. Give the man a cool drink. Myers, Dempsey, clever. Manna, Dempsey, Atkins. Keeps it in motion. Myers pulls the trigger. Another goal to Geelong. The Hoops are hammering Port Adelaide. Brian Myers, so often a giver, that time a taker. He's kicked 3 goals tonight now, Myers, including 2 in this term.
This is the Cats' highest ever score in an interstate final. 16-16. Myers secures his 3rd goal. And those on the bench, Saktui. Aaron looks like he's, well, there he is. He's on the ground, so he's been activated.
He has been activated, and I'm pretty sure it's looking like Paddy D will take the rest of the night off.
That would be good news for Dangerfield fans. Paul Francis with an electric handball, likewise winds. Dixon around the corner. Markle couldn't handle it. Plainly Holmes did it beautifully. Smothered there by Evans. Bowes caught in a bit of a tight spot here, and he's just hung onto it too long. Free kick going away.
No, Paddy's still having enough fun out there for tonight, so Brian Myers has put the top on.
Take him out.
Myers it is. Didn't see the coach have a conversation with him at 3/4 time. And soccer off the ground. Haven't seen Chris Scott appear down there, have we, Aaron? No, he's back in the box.
No, I haven't seen him still up there.
No, got him
enjoying the view.
So Zach Tui subbed into the game. Coincidentally, his first final, this is his 20th. His first was in 2011 as a Blue, and he started as the sub on that occasion. Geelong bring it out of defence through Guthrie. Here's Dangerfield. He looked for all money like it was cue in the rack for the night, Joel. Would he have had any influence on that decision, do you think?
No, to be honest, I don't think so. I think that he's obviously feeling really good.
Tui, Henry, got it clear to close. The Cats are queuing up, but they have another poster for the night. 3 posters in the first quarter.
And it's a credit to the team that's got him in that condition too. Obviously, we're patient with him, even when they went into that slump where they went 0-6. Would have loved to get him back early, but we're patient and paying rewards for it now.
Drew, the target, Duncan to Cameron. Just shook off Narkle like a rag doll. Sets up Humphries. He was away if he could keep his feet. A willing giver of the footies is Humphries. Cameron had to go through a couple. Henry to try and tidy it up. And Travis Boak in games 3, 6, 9. 355 games since Travis Boak last appeared in a grand final. Playing in his 16th final tonight. The record at court held by Kane Corns. 19 finals. Dempsey. My footy. Tui had to go. He was confronted by a charging Aaliyah.
His clearing kick intercepted by Blitzards. Sits it up to the pocket. Close is there, but Bergman. Bergman towards Radagalair, but a kick that really favours Guthrie. Wins it back for Geelong in the middle. Natural kick to Humphries. Humphries wants to get it moving. On that left foot of his, Rosie couldn't mark. Bruin spins away. Squaring kick to Cameron. Beautiful football, Geelong. Cameron has a chance to kick his most conventional goal of the night.
Unfortunately, off another error from Port. Rosie dropping what he'd usually take. A good unselfish footy from the Cats. This becomes a really enjoyable part of the game. Clearly sewn up. A lot of ball up your end.
Well, he's kicked the difficult ones, the near on impossible ones tonight, Cameron. And then that. And this could be a 90-point margin at the moment. How quickly can a team, and we've seen it before, when a team in the first week of the finals gets heavily beaten, can you wipe the slate clean and then ready yourself for the following week and play your true brand of footy again, Joel? Or does this leave a scar?
You're bruised, Al, to be honest. You're bruised from tonight, but you can actually dust that off pretty quickly. You can get on with it. The numbers that Port Adelaide have put up throughout this year have actually been really impressive. So they'll have to get over this pretty quick, move on. A dirty night for a lot of them, not many winners over the field.
Just go back to their last 9 weeks. They've had incredible form. To find a bit of optimism, I guess. As you say, scrub this one.
It's round 15, the 79-point loss to Brisbane here, and that essentially sparked the superb late run they had.
It did indeed. Their last 6 in a row prior to tonight. Atkins to Bose, and Bose has got the runner of Tui. Tui will be eyeing the goals here. He will launch. No, he won't. Unselfishly, a delivering ball to the pocket, and this man here will line up from 48 metres out.
Is it worth anyone hitting up late here, Joel?
Yep, there it is. Stengel does. And just needed to drop that in front.
These days he sounds like a hungry small forward, doesn't he, BT?
All he's worried about is little, small, greedy forwards.
Good news for Geelong fans. Brian Myers is all good, so just a tactical sub.
Nice work, Erin, back in here with Stanley. Jones had a bit of trouble controlling it. Stengel, what about that? What about the foot candy? He kicks his fourth.
this season. Stengel has kicked 4 against Port Adelaide, but this time he'll be doing it on the winning side.
Go square, lads. Go square. Trading, guys. 10 seconds. Let's go.
Well, that's his 4th for tonight, Tyson Stengel, but he does so much work, blocking Aaliyah and the other tools for Port Adelaide on the night, so gets reward for his effort tonight. And we just think how impressive this guy has been. Chris Scott, we think of that 2022 side 47 games ago, and there's 9 different players in this side tonight. What a turnaround.
He really is a master coach. 2 flags to his name. This is 29th final. This will be his 14th finals victory. Chris Scott.
Think about it. 16th time in the past 18 seasons are in finals. 14 of those have been a double chance.
Unbelievable.
It just doesn't, I'm sorry, it doesn't get any better than that.
Well, the competition is not built that way either with equalisation, BT.
We're talking about one thing that Port Adelaide can't afford, and that is an injury. Connor Rosea, after that contest in the middle there, looks like he's got a stinger in that right shoulder. He's slow to get up. He's carrying it.
Let's hope that's all it is. A stinger, whatever a stinger is. Some sort of nerve pinch, isn't it, Dace?
Yeah, just contact. So you can see there that right arm gets stuck underneath the pack. So just and some contact as well. Just a stinger.
Stengel. Jones closes him down this time. Cameron, what a pick-up. Non-preferred finish for Jezza. 1 finger in the air. They're on the way to the prelim. Cameron's kicked 3. It's been some night. 3 for Manor, 4 for Stengel, 3 for Myers.
Well, Stengel, influential coming through the stoppage, but it is just the movement. We've seen it all night. Gruen was on his way through as well. But in terms of snappers in the game, there's not too many better left or right side than Jeremy Cameron. And hasn't he found form at the right time of the year? 9 in the last round of the season. And just carrying on tonight.
This will be Geelong's 13th prelim final they will go into in the last 18 years. Humphreys unloading the footy forward here. Holmes with 1 here to Cameron. Cameron takes the mark within range. So the winner through to the prelim, which is the Cats, and it comes down to 4 teams for them now. GWS and Sydney, Brisbane and Carlton. It'll be one of those 4 teams. Cameron to line up here. Loser plays the winner of tomorrow night's game, the Western Bulldogs, and Hawthorn will confront Port Adelaide, and that'll be played here at the Adelaide Oval next weekend. Cameron comes in from 52 out and doesn't miss a beat, nails that, and his kick goal number 4. For Jeremy Cameron, I reckon. Comes from the ground immediately after kicking his 4th goal.
If you had your way, BT, I'm not sure that Geelong would have a player still on the field.
I've always thought about this.
Thanks, Jordan.
But I'm not sure I've got the guts to go through with it and start moving players off the ground. It would be a gutsy thing to do.
Leon Cameron once did it. It's the GWS Giants when I was playing for Carlton. The runner came out and gave me the message that we weren't allowed to have a +1. I had to inform him that they didn't have enough players on the ground, so we had to have one.
Stanley comes free in the middle. Drew to Horn Francis. A bounce from the wing. He kicks towards the 50. Cats there just played a team game so well. Guthrie allowed him to take the mark.
The chase out of the middle was really important. Put the pressure on the kick, goes a little bit higher. Zach Guthrie just makes his way in. Doing everything really well tonight, apart from those set shots.
Holmes, been influential blitzers. Coming here tonight, Joel, did you think Geelong, even if things went really well, were capable of this?
I thought if they could stay with Port till quarter time, take the crowd out of it a little bit, you know, they could be in the fight. And then we thought it was going to be a dogfight for 120 minutes. Well, really only had to put up 70 minutes. And then, as we've said, Port's had an off night tonight.
Ben Jones. The happiest of birthdays for Aaliyah. The 3-0. The ball here to Wines. Had plenty of it tonight, Ollie Wines. Possession 20. Tries to create something with Horn Francis, but he was mobbed by Geelong players. Bows. And one good by one arm, still managed to get it on the boot. Off hands. It'll be a free to Miles Bergman here at centre half back. Going to go against Neil.
Bergman to the outer side wing. Zerk Thatcher. 25-metre hand pass to Boak. And Boak to Dixon. So Dixon will get a look at one. He should have been lining them up earlier in this quarter, but went horribly over his head. King Charlie's #1 fan hasn't given up on the Monarch.
Mullen looked a bit sore coming off then too.
Can he just give them a little bit of late joy here, Charlie Dixon? It's to the near side.
There's the incident with Mullen. Looked nasty.
Yeah, straight to the doctor when he came off, so
Proper extension.
can happen. Tui. Down the line here through the hands of Jones. And Willem Drew happy to find the boundary as well. So this is a magnificent finals win on the road for the Cats. Up by 78 in front of 50-odd thousand. Many people perhaps didn't give them the chance in this game. Atkins, short little ball. Tanner Bruin. They have got through so far. It looks relatively unscathed in terms of injuries, and they've got a couple of players, as Joel has alluded to, playing VFL footy this weekend, but they'll take a close look at whether Hawkins and Cam Guthrie, of course.
I think of the emergencies too, so De Koning, Rowan will probably play on that side also come Saturday.
So that's some really good depth for them and some massive decisions coming up for them, how they handle that over the next couple of weeks. And here is Neil, the man that effectively has replaced Hawkins, and he nails that right through the middle. That's his second goal. And that's 5 last quarter goals in a row now. So they've kicked 20 goals. They lead it by 84. And this has been an absolute shellacking.
Yeah, so the fizz is out of the game, but the confidence of those young Cats players, we see Mano handballed off to Bruin, off to Neil. Now, these guys weren't a part of the premiership in 2022. They're getting their taste of probably their first final for a lot of them tonight. Geez, it'll be a final that they'll remember for a long time.
It's hard to believe that the margin's 84 points for how inaccurate the Cats have been as well. Posters, 4 of those. Missed some easy and certainly gettable ones. It's been a domination.
Manor, Bowes, Lawson Humphries, Dempsey, Neil, Ollie Henry all playing their first final for the Cats. Rosie's had a tough night. Lord Francis takes the mark. That kick is just hanging in the air, and Drew up to his advantage. Kolodjasny able to spoil. Atkins tackled, ball locked in. A week off for the Cats and then a home preliminary final. On the side of the draw. Move it. Your attentions to Sydney or GWS, Carlton or Brisbane. That'll be the opponent. Here is Wines.
That's your angle.
So Ollie Wines outside the boundary. And the ball outside the boundary.
We're not sure what day this Port Adelaide game will be played in Adelaide next week, but it's probably a good chance on Friday. Nothing's confirmed, and that comes from no place of any authority other than just a guess. But you'll think Friday, given the other teams have got to play yet.
Yeah, logic would make sense. 7-day break for both. 7-day for, Hawthorn or the Bulldogs, 8 for Port.
Yep.
Holding, Geelong! Guthrie!
So Guthrie here. Guthrie, game 101. Jeremy Cameron will be delighted. They'll all be delighted. The Cats there, very much thinking about the next 2 weeks. The VFL team plays this Saturday down at GMHBA Stadium. I think they play the Gold Coast. That'll be worth getting a look at if you're a Geelong fan. You'll see some stars in action there and get a look at how Hawkins and Guthrie appear, and Rowan as well. Massive, massive finals victory here for the Cats. 84 points. Port Adelaide, good footy early, but that was all we saw. Burgoyne to Wines. Holmes is there. They have come and they have conquered the Cats in the second qualifying final. Their fans are delighted.
We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dark, down at Gardenia Park.
One super competitive half of football. The first half, everyone in the media centre was talking about how good the footy was, how the ball was pinging around, how both teams were scoring. The second half, dismal for Port Adelaide. That man there was taken off before the second half got underway, Butters. Zach Butters, and we believe some sort of rib injury is the reason for that. So we'll see whether he takes any part in next week's action. So Port Adelaide will play the winner of the Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn here at the Adelaide Oval on a day or night to be determined. We're going to cross down to Erin Phillips. She's down there with Paddy Dangerfield.
Well, Skip, off to another prelim. Unbelievable performance tonight.
Yeah, really proud of our guys, the way they attacked the week. A little bit of a disruption yesterday with Stewie, obviously, but we had a really clear game plan with what we wanted to go after. And you give our coaches a couple of weeks, and we were very confident with, if we could bring our game and stay at the level long enough, then good things would happen.
9 new players since 2022, last time you were in finals. Must be pretty exciting times for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It brings a freshness, but it also reinforces, the guys that we bring in. Jack Bose comes to the club, could have gone elsewhere, could have gone for more money, but chooses Geelong. Tanner Bruin comes home. The growth of Ollie Dempsey. Lawson Humphries goes right up half back. Some great, wonderful stories, and the sort of list goes on.
And your small forwards were just electric tonight as well.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Tice is the best in the business, to be frank. Close in his 100th game and grind, and then
the littering of others that run through there, and Sean Manor, who's 27 and just loving life. Somehow it's taken this long to crack the big league, and it's wonderful to see him doing so well.
You didn't want to give yourself the sub going into the end of the game. You wanted to stay on the field.
Having too much fun. It's a privilege to play this game. It invigorates you. So proud of our guys, and it's just such a wonderful place to come into work. And we've got a month to go.
Well done, Paddy. Go celebrate.
This is Finals Footy on Fox, brought to you by Industry Super Funds. When it comes to super, there is only one symbol to look for, and an 84-point demolition by the Cats. They were extraordinary, really right from the opening bounce. They have booked a home preliminary final and the week off. Jason Dunstall, David King, Joey Montana, that was a super impressive performance.
Couldn't have been any better from a Cats perspective. They are the consummate professionals. They know how to get the job done. They work hard, they're disciplined, they're committed, and they don't take no for an answer. And they played 4 brilliant quarters against a team that, again, has left more questions than anything with that performance.
I want to stay with Geelong for a minute, okay, and celebrate what they've been able to do. 38 scores. Yeah. I can't remember a final with that number for a long, long time. That's a huge score. I thought if there were going to be a game like that tonight, you're probably thinking, maybe Port's midfield got on top and ran right. I think this has been an unbelievable performance, largely off the back of 3 or 4 star factor players. And we'll get to those guys in a minute, but this is not really about the coach. It's about discipline. This team, they come single-minded, real focused that they had a plan, and they executed that plan unbelievably tonight. And now, none of us thought they were a danger for the flag, Jason, but you would have to think, Joey, that they're right there. They're in the mix with this scoring power.
It was clinical. It was clinical what they did tonight, and Chris Scott has been saying all year it's the team that peaks at the right time. Maybe they are just peaking, because everything he has touched has turned to gold this year for Chris Scott. The way they've managed Dangerfield, the way they've brought in Lawson Humphries and made Shawnee Manor earn his spot. They stuck with Reece Stanley. They went with Jed Buse. Whatever he's done this year, it has been the team selection tonight, not to play Stewart and De Koning and give them a couple of extra weeks, and to go with the guys that have done it. Like they are ticking every single box. It's been clinical. It's been, as you said, the ultimate professional at side. It's now their 9th prelim in 14 years under Chris Scott. 9 prelims in 14 years. It's remarkable, and the way they played tonight, good luck trying to stop them.
And I think it's 13 in the last 18 years. So they're just doing it year after year. I'm sure Bombers fans in the last 20 years would be
Don't
crying.
go there, Sarah.
But if you have a look at the way they've done it tonight, it was emphatic. I mean, this is a hostile arena. It was full of Port Adelaide fans. They had to silence the crowd early, and they're able to do that. They're now only 2 wins away from a premiership. It's so unlikely, but they're doing so well.
They just came here prepared to work hard. They ran hard, they attacked the contest, they put pressure on the opposition, and they ran both ways. They were the first to get back when Port were going forward, and they were first to get goal side when they had the ball in attack. So I thought it was a supreme effort. And what I love about the Cats is everyone contributes.
Well, the way that he gets the maximum amount of role players. This is what the game has become, isn't it? You've got your 4 or 5 stars, and everyone's trying to set the game up for those guys at every team, regardless of who they are or what colours they wear. And then you try and get the rest to not cost you the game effectively. How Chris is able to get the scoring power around the edges from these half forwards and the clinical nature in which they were able to do it tonight is quite frightening, really.
Yeah, well, there's always talk about weaknesses and their weakness in the midfield, and maybe a bit of an ageing defence, but their biggest point of difference is their small forwards. That has been their threat all year, and again, we saw it on full display tonight. The way that when that ball hits the ground, the way they slingshot, Kingy spoke about it pre-game, that is their biggest threat, and you need to have the defenders that can match them and go with them, because if you don't, they're going to continue to pile on a score.
And they did it without one of their absolute best players, with Tom Stewart, a late withdrawal. That's extraordinary.
Well, I think it just preaches system again, doesn't it? I mean, when he spoke to us in the pre-game, I must admit I was taken aback with the confidence in which he said, if we do this, this and this, we will expose their vulnerabilities. Now, I don't hear of a coach talk like that on the road, in this environment, up against a strong team in Port Adelaide, and they just dismembered them. It was brutal all night for 120 minutes. And I don't know, the other coach's box lost for answers. What did they really do to shift the course of this game? What did they really do when it was on the line early?
And as a player, when you believe your coach, when you know what he says is going to pan out, you just have a confidence about you. And that's what it looked like with this Geelong group. Even coming out to the race pre-game, they had an air of confidence that was portrayed. We mentioned the body language of the coach, and he had that and oozed it, and the players played with it. And you're right, Port Adelaide just didn't have any answers. They've got no plan B. They try the same thing every single week, and when it works, it looks great. When it doesn't, it's been exposed. That's now their fourth finals loss in a row, and some bad pummelings in finals. You know, they've already had a 70-point loss. Last year it was a 48 and 23-point loss, and now an 80-point loss. Like, when they get beaten in finals, it is bad because they don't have anything else to go to. Their body language looked poor at half-time, and then they played like it in the second half. But full credit to the Cats. They made Port Adelaide play like that.
A 100th game to remember for Close, a great milestone, but all attention now for the Cats in a fortnight of the preliminary final, and to do it at the MCG, such a big advantage, Jace, to be on home soil. I mean, it didn't worry them tonight, but to be able to do that prelim at the MCG and then one more win and you're in the decider.
Yeah, you battle hard all season to secure your top 4 spot, and then if you're good enough to win that first one, you then have home ground advantage for the prelim. They've done that. They'll go back and plan for the next couple of weeks, and they're so good at planning their campaigns and peaking at the right time, as Joey was talking about before.
Triumphant scenes in the Cats rooms, and you think Tom Stewart obviously comes back in if his hamstring is okay. De Koning still to come in, and then there's Tom Hawkins and Guthrie that trying in the weekend in the VFL to press their claim for selection. There is pressure on spots in this team, which is exactly what you want, David King.
Well, I'm still not buying the flu, I must admit, Sarah. I'm still not signing off on whether that is absolutely fact or not. And I guess you don't have to disclose. At this stage of the year, maybe you've earned the right to keep a few things secret and let that out-of-town advantage work for you. If you're not going to go and watch some training and not be across it, then you're going to be caught by these sorts of things. I think he's got some hamstring trauma.
Okay, but worst case scenario, say he doesn't play again this season. There's nothing to suggest the Cats can't win the flag, given what we saw tonight.
No, well, it's just such an even year, and we've just been disappointed when you put yourself on the line to go with the team, Jason. You're just going to let yourself down. But they have got star factor players that play 9 out of 10 footy every week. It's awesome.
Yep.
Joey, do you reckon Eddie was just having a quiet word to Jeremy Cameron there about nailing a goal from the
Eddie
pocket?
said. He said, not a bad goal, Jezza, still not in my top 10. That's what Eddie just said to Jeremy Cameron.
Rightio. We will find out. All right, we're going to have a look at some highlights now with thanks to a Ford F-150, and there were some big plays tonight, and, well, none bigger than the captain, Patrick Dangerfield, who was excellent all night. He really led by example, and he was just in the contest from the get-go.
Well, he showed up, didn't we? And we expected him to show up. We knew he would. He's been primed and been trained to the minute, really, for this final series. And we saw him in 2022 do something similar, where he had that short campaign and then had one of the final series of all time. And then, you know, the grand final, you look at it here, he was just... He's got his explosiveness. We've seen it for the last 6 weeks. He's hungry, he's determined, and he's still playing some elite football.
Yeah, he's still the king.
Still the king.
I don't care what anyone says. He comes into this house tonight, and all the talk is Butters, Horn Francis, Rosie, what chance you got? He says, hey, I'm at this level, come and get me. What do you got?
Their midfielders look pedestrian at times this season, but I think when you put Holmes and Dangerfield back in there, it's a very different look and feel about it. And they got on top early, and they never looked back. And all of a sudden, the confidence of everyone, the ability to link up, everything they did worked beautifully. It was a really strong performance from their midfield. And you're right, against the strength of the opposition.
I think all your fragility, all your areas of concern are exposed in finals like this, aren't they, Jason? You know, defensively, I know their numbers read well, but are they absolutely at the pointy end of the competition, Port? We've had our doubts for weeks, and when the game is allowed to be played at speed like that against them, it's so difficult to defend. I just wonder whether they have enough defensively geared midfielders when the tide's going the other way.
That has always been the scouting report against Port Adelaide. If you turn them around and go the other way, do they run as hard as they do when they get the game on their terms? And as you said, your vulnerabilities get exposed in finals, and we saw that tonight from Port Adelaide.
Nowhere to hide in finals football. Max Holmes, right from the opening minute, he set the tone and he really got them firing early. His metres gained, I'd love to know his numbers over the entire season because he has carried the ball further than anyone.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's a 60-metre player, and you combine Dangerfield and his metres gained. It was almost 1,500 metres gained between the two of them. So that's the power you get with their ability to break the lines, their run and carry, and then their kicking penetration. He was sensational. He played in the midfield. They didn't need him across half-back. They had Lawson Humphries and Duncan and a few others doing that sort of role, and he was terrific again. He's had a wonderful season. I thought he was really stiff. I had him in my All-Australian team. I just think he'll probably win their best and fairest in a team that he's now in a prelim. That's how good a year he's had.
This is the one I love, Joey. He's such a strong runner. He's got Butters running flat stick trying to catch him, but he's still got the composure to bounce and carry and not worry about it and still deliver the ball forward. This man is built on power, isn't he?
You're doing a tremendous job to stay calm here, Jason, too, with some feedback in the background. But look at the scores from clearances when you talk about those guys. 19 scores to 5 from clearance. I don't know if I've seen a mauling like that.
69 points against Port, their second worst return for the year.
Yeah, well, it's a huge
final
number at this stage of the year.
And their defence was going so well coming into this clash. All right, let's head down into the victorious rooms. Eddie Betts and Mark Rasciuto are standing by. Guys.
I'll tell you what, they are all smiles down here, and not surprising. I mean, that was a complete performance, Ed, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And before the game, Tom Stewart going out, you think, this is going to be a tough one for Geelong. But to win by 84 points over here, it's a hostile environment. To come over and play like that, a full package game, it was awesome.
Super start. They were super clean, and the forwards just benefit. They all had a night out, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And Manning played really well. Their small forwards started like a house on fire. And as you guys was talking about, their slingshot from D50 to forward 50 was unbelievable. Their set shots, though, they need to work on. They didn't.
You had a chat to Jeremy. What did you say?
So if I stay out of my pocket, bro. He said 1 week too late. 1 week too late. Because I told him, man, that's goal of the year. Unbelievable. Great kick. The way you can get it to bend like that, around, opposite, away from goal, under pressure. It was, you won't see many of those.
Yeah.
Here we go. We just watched this. So he just comes in here behind right now. And you never think he's going to kick this. Right now, he's bumped under pressure to get it to bend around like that to come back. That's a difficult kick. And
it's nearly impossible.
But everyone's loving it. But he actually said 1 week too late. 1 week too late. So
look, they are absolutely pumped. They're just coming out of the rooms now. We're going to catch up with a couple of players shortly.
Roo, just want to ask your opinion for a moment on Port Adelaide and the reaction you expect here in South Australia. How brutal the fallout will be, given that it was a straight sets exit last year, and Kenny's been under pressure at different times this season.
Yeah, look, they're not going to like it. They've lost their last 4 finals now, and this is the best preparation they've had coming into a game. They've actually been playing the best footy I've seen Port Adelaide play for a long time. So I was like many people in South Australia. I thought they were going to be very, very hard to beat tonight. So this is really going to rock them. The Cats have really put one on their chin.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see the fallout in the next couple of days, and they've got to regather and regroup really quickly, Joey, and it would have been good to see them come out and win the final term or come out and do something different or respond, just to carry a little bit of momentum into next week.
Yeah, it's going to take an amazing coaching effort now from Ken Hinkley to get this group up again. You can see the body language there. I mean, this will dent them, no doubt. This will give their ego, will take a hit, because when you get beaten like that, you start to have little doubts. You start to wonder, are we good enough? How good are we really? And, what was this performance tonight? And they'll be looking around at teammates and looking at where it went wrong. So they've only got 6 or 7 days to butter up and have to go again. They've still got a chance in this season. Their season is not dead, but they're going to have to play much better footy than they did tonight. Yeah, they've earned the double chance, but they certainly look shell-shocked at the moment. All right, Kingy, your favourite topic of the night, the small forwards, because they were awesome.
Yeah, they are. They're so hard to contain, aren't they? I mean, their ability to get forward, to play their plan. It's not gambling. It's really not. They know that their team's trying to get the ball over the top and out the back, to grass if you can. Don't allow the opposition to mark the ball. Just have a look there, just how quickly they react. It's brilliant to watch, and it happens in real time every time. So when they spit forward like that, they get easy opportunities, uncontested more often than not. And Port Adelaide, I felt for their defence at times, but they were their own worst enemies. How many times we see this, Jason? Just strolling to the Geelong end of goal and easy slipping out the back opportunities into the goal square. I know he's a young player, Evans, but it's just got to be better than that.
They also trouble you with their leg speed because they're all quick. Every one of them has genuine leg speed, whether it's Stengel or Myers or Close, even Manor. They've all got good leg speed and they get separation. And as soon as you give them separation, they're too good.
So what's Bergman doing there? I mean, has it been drilled into them that this is what Geelong are going to do? Absolutely be ready for this. Be on high alert because they're going to want to get forward. You've got to be there to arm bar. If you're not there when they turn, they should see your full jumper. And if they don't, then they're going to get forward. I just think they've either had a really poor preparation with their planning or this group of back 6, 7, 8 players haven't been disciplined enough to perform what Ken's asked. Either way, I don't think they recover from this. I think their seasons come to an unfortunate and really disastrous finish.
Well, one of the stars they couldn't contain tonight was Max Holmes. He joins us now in the Cats rooms. Max, congratulations. You are through to a home preliminary final at the MCG. No doubt the rooms are buzzing. What's the overriding emotion now that you've got that one locked away?
Yeah, we're stoked, obviously. It probably couldn't have gone much better than that. We all know now that there's no more travelling for the year, so that's also a very exciting prospect because, you know, they're not always the most fun coming to a ground like this against a hostile crowd. But, yeah, we're stoked and can't wait for the next couple of weeks.
Max, congratulations. Fantastic team performance. Also a great individual performance from yourself. You must enjoy now playing a lot more time in the middle of the ground because we're seeing a more rounded game from you. Your ability to get inside, wing stoppages, and then carry, run, link up, and do all those things we knew you could do at half-back and wing. But you must be absolutely enjoying being in the engine room now.
Yeah, obviously loving it. I think it was great early in the year, like getting on the half-back. I think it really gave me a lot of confidence to then move into the midfield. So, yeah, naturally that's where the fun happens, I guess. So it's a bit less stressful than having to defend some good forwards. So happy days in the midfield, but yeah, we'll keep going.
Max, terrific to hear from the coach in the pre-game. He was so confident about this plan being able to work. Get the ball forward quickly from stoppage. Take your opportunities with your leg speed if you can. Take that grass in front of you, which you did countless times, and get it over the back. Was it as simple as that? What was your understanding of the plan?
Pretty much that. I think Scotty has a lot more meetings than we do, so they just tell us the basics, and that's essentially the basic every week. So it doesn't change too much, and you know it worked out well this week, but hopefully it works out in a couple of weeks as well.
Hey, congratulations on your season, Max. It's been sensational, but just personally now, you're one game away from playing in a grand final. We know about your story in 2022. That must burn, so it must be nice to try and be so close again to playing in that grand final you missed out on a couple of years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the naivety in me thought we'd just go ahead and win it last year, and it was kind of a bit of a sad way to end it last year. So I didn't expect us to bounce back the way we have this year. So I'm really excited. The rest of the team's excited, and yeah, we'll keep it going.
Max, Tom Stewart as a late withdrawal was really big news given how great of a player he is. When did you guys learn that he wouldn't be lining up tonight, and how was the reshuffle of planning?
I think we planned for him not to play. It only happened last night, I think. But, yeah, I think it probably threw a few more spanners in the work for Port than us, so it wasn't too bad.
How do you handle the 2 weeks off now, leading into the prelim? Do you have a little bit of time off? Do you freshen up? What's the process now?
Yeah, we'll absolutely freshen up. But, you know, we can't just, like, sit back on our heels and let it get away from us. So it's still going to be pretty serious training. And while we will have that rest, it's most important that we get out there during the week and really nail the things we have to, because otherwise, you know, you can see teams post by really fall away. So we just got to make sure that's not us. And I think that was a big factor this week. So we had the week off last week, and I think, yeah, everyone's really happy with how it turned out.
Are you a footy head, Max? Are you going to sit down and watch the rest of the games this weekend, or do you switch off and get away? What are you going to do?
I'll absolutely be watching. Had to be have lost. I'm not sure I would have been watching, but yeah, I'm excited to watch the rest of the games this week.
Max, congratulations on the win. You are through to a preliminary final and a great individual effort from you tonight. Well done. Enjoy putting your feet up for a week or so, and we'll see you at the prelim.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
What a star Max Holmes is fast becoming.
What can he get to?
He was huge tonight.
What level can he get to, Jace?
Well, you see that we were all sitting there saying how can they match up against Butters and Rosie and Horn-Front? They didn't just match up against them. I think they beat them and beat them comfortably. So we saw him play it's one of the better games I've seen him play in person anyway. So if he can get that level of consistency in his game, he's up there with the elite midfielders in the competition.
Look out in the preliminary final because they are oh so close to competing in another grand final. We're going to take a quick break. Let's check in with Sportsbet for the latest.
All right, folks, there we go. While they're doing that, it was all the Cats dominating this game tonight. 2018, 138, defeating Port Adelaide 7-12, 54. Geelong certainly brought their A game tonight, and every player from the Cats played their A game, played their role to perfection. Poor old Port Adelaide brought their Z game. Nothing went right. They looked deflated after the first minute of the match. Being said, they were still right in it up until half time, and then it was the Cats just blew them out of the water, kicking 11 goals, 9 in the final half. And Port Adelaide could only put on 1 goal, 5 in the second half. You can see the domination from the Cats. Just having a quick look at the poll we had tonight. Who was going to win this game? We had 95 votes in there. 51% went for Geelong, 48% went for Port Adelaide, 1% went to the Heavens. Who knows where that 1% goes to? There we go, 95 votes, and she was pretty tight. 51% to the Cats. They got it right tonight, the poll. There we go. So we showed you a little bit of the players' stats and, of course, the team stats there. And the commentators had their say what they thought. You heard a couple of interviews from the Geelong players there. Being down in the Port Adelaide rooms, all players heads down, looking a bit dismayed, dismantled, not knowing what to do, thinking to themselves, can we get up for next week? Can we pull it off? Can we win? They need to do better next week. I'll tell you what, folks, next week's game is not going to be any easier than tonight's game against Geelong. Port Adelaide will either play the Western Bulldogs or Hawthorn, and of course that game comes up tomorrow night. 7:30 Melbourne time, 7:40 game start. We'll be here at about 20 past 7, cover that game. But before that game, of course, we've got an AFLW game. That will be on tomorrow. That's the Western Bulldogs and Port Adelaide. 4:30 p.m. Melbourne time. That's the AFLW. That's the women's AFL football. We'll cover that game before the big game tomorrow night against Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn. Should be an absolute cracker. Looking forward to that game. That, my friends, is probably the most anticipated game of the final series. Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn. Can the Bulldogs win? Can Hawthorn win? I don't know. Who would you prefer to play if you're a Port Adelaide supporter? I'll tell you what, both of those sides are in great form. I don't think I'd like to be playing any of them. That being said, I did think Hawthorn could go a fair way. Maybe I've changed my mind. Maybe I think the Western Bulldogs will win that. But we'll find out that tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for those couple of games coming up tomorrow night, folks. That is 4:30 in the afternoon. That is the AFLW women's team. That'll be Port Adelaide Western Bulldogs. Following that will be the big match. And that match is Western Bulldogs taking on Hawthorn at the MCG. And don't forget, Saturday at 3:20, Sydney Swans taking on the Giants in the first qualifying final. And, of course, the next elimination final is the Lions and Carlton, 7:30 Saturday night. So got big games on tomorrow night and Saturday, so make sure you stick around. We'll be covering those. Hopefully we'll see you there on those games. All right, folks, that's all I've got for this one. We'll wrap this one up. Hope you enjoyed the footy. Commiserations to the Port Adelaide team and your supporters out there. One good thing, you got a second chance. That's what it's all about, finishing top 4. You've got the second chance. You lose the first week, you play again the second week. So you're still alive. You're still alive. Well done to all the Geelong fans out there and the players. As I said, that was Geelong of old. They looked fantastic. All right, folks, that's all we've got for this one. Until next time, ciao for now. We'll see you tomorrow for the AFLW game, followed by the big match, the Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn.